for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Crossover is
crossover dribble.
Sing for the crossover.
Kyrie Irving crossover in the lane. One of the most famous crossovers of all time. Behind the back, an ankle breaker on Chris Paul.
Crossover.
The crossover continues to evolve.
Crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. March, boys.
It's March.
This March.
Is March.
It is the month of Tom Izzo.
Last night I watched more hockey highlights than I've ever watched in my entire life.
Yeah?
In preparation for Mac going on SportsCenter for 10 seconds.
Oh.
I sat there for the last 6 minutes, or last probably 6 to 8 minutes of the Avs and Blackhawks game.
5-0 Skunker, by the way.
Yep, that was great. And then they ripped into SVP ripped into about 10 to 15 minutes of hockey.
Yeah.
And then
Kraken, big win over the Pens.
Yeah,
shutout win.
Top of the hour rolls around, and we're talking Caitlin Clark, and we're talking women's basketball, and we're going through a whole bunch of stuff. And then by I think probably 11:20, 11:30 rolls around, and then Max shows
What do you
up.
think of that Preds 7-game winning streak, eh?
It's great.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's great.
There you go.
I love the Preds.
Yeah.
Go Preds.
They got a good
Do you
process
know
going on
what
over there.
city and team the Preds are?
The Nashville Predators.
Okay.
The Nashville Predators.
Wow, you really
Do you know what they're
sports.
called?
I know
Do you know
hockey.
what song they play when they score a goal?
I am of hockey. Probably something honky tonk.
Close. It's I like it. I love it. I want some
See?
more of it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Not a fan.
You got to go with that. I wonder what song they'll play when the Gretna steel
Owls.
heads.
Gretna East?
Yeah, the Gretna steel train.
The Griffins.
Team. Yeah,
they said they want to be the Night Owls. KINIT.
Oh,
NIGHT.
Okay, you're talking about the new hockey team that
Of
we
course.
Yes.
At our brand new arena in Gretna.
What would they play? Would it have to be something like that's Omaha based? I can't really think of like Counting Crows.
Something
being
about
cool
a
goal
lake.
song.
Something about Big Lake.
Big Lake.
Is there a song about Big Lake? Something with that.
Huh.
Yep. How about that pond on a pontoon?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna do. That's it.
Motor boating.
So I just figured out that whole team.
Oh, you know what? Because you do want something that the fans can like chime in even when the puck is still in play. If you can get the motor boating part, you get the whole crowd going, motor boat. Yeah, I like it. We should roll with that.
That would be so stupid. That would be awesome.
It would be so stupid that it would be awesome. Are they going to call that team the Gretna, or are they going to call it Omaha? They call it Nebraska.
Every new team that comes in, like there's 4 or 5 options that you could do.
Yeah.
There's basically something that has to do with agriculture.
Uh-huh.
There's something that has to do with trains.
Yeah.
And I feel like
usually throw in an endangered species just to say we haven't forgot about you.
Yeah, or you could go, with the just, good old fashioned whatever animal you're going to do, but that's not the trend that we're in right now.
No.
So I think we're probably due for a train reference for one of our teams, since hockey, they do the so I think you got to do a train. and I think like steal something, steal. You could do golden spikes if you wanted to.
Steel? Did you say the steel owls at one point?
No, he said night owls.
Oh, yeah, because isn't that what it was going to be, like the night owls or something? Yeah.
The night owls.
Yeah. You're saying like the steel dragons?
The steel,
terrible
anything.
Name. I'm glad they revealed that the NHL is, quote, not in expansion mode, end quote.
Yeah.
What's the mascot
of
the Gretna East?
The Griffins.
Gretna East Griffins.
They're the Griffins. They got a shout out to the Griffs. They got their first ever win in school history at a state tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And they've only been around for a year.
They're going to the. Speaking of which, we better get it over there.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on.
Oh, that's right. We got mustard jackets.
Hop on the NCN.
Yep.
All right.
I want mustard jackets.
We get C1 and C2 covered.
Okay, this is
our show
this
quite
is
a
the
bit.
Bridgeport team that Mike Patterson was talking about.
Obviously undefeated.
Undefeated.
Obviously
And a
undefeated.
4 seed. Down
Actually,
14.
Lincoln Christian is not undefeated.
Clock is going to strike midnight here for undefeated Bridgeport.
I did. Well, you don't know.
Down 14 with 5 minutes left.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
they're
I do
in
know.
that. They're in that great pressure zone. They do.
They would need to score 50% of the points.
Josh,
they
you know the
currently
most
have.
dangerous lead in basketball is 14. So just letting you know that. All right.
I like what
You
I
can't
like
get
what,
too comfortable.
I like the cut of Lincoln Christian's jib right now. Look at it. Get it to the high post right there. That's how you break the zone.
Not giving
I just
nothing.
want between now and the end of the crossover to get at least one image of the yellow coats.
You know who'd be good at if a team went into a zone? If just like Sam Hoiberg would show up and he'd just start driving on people. Man, he was doing that all night last night, and they took him out.
And nobody could make a freaking layup.
No.
But the refs.
Why is Nash
cannot.
Hutmacher on this Animal Planet?
Is he?
Yeah, the guy looks exactly like Nash Hutmacher with a very, very thick beard.
Is it a documentary about polar bears?
It might be. It's something on the Animal Planet, and
They're
it's a guy
showing cold weather animals.
It's a guy working in the zoo. When they show him, you'll know. But I just kind of looked up at the other TV, which is on Animal Planet for some reason, and I thought I saw Nash Hutmacher with a pretty lengthy beard.
Yeah, last night Sam Hoiberg was like the only guy doing stuff, and then they were like, "All right, never mind. It's time to put back in Tominaga to
we need
miss a
Casey.
whole bunch of threes."
Yeah, we need Casey to take some ill-advised shots.
That's okay.
I mean,
That's okay.
Was anything about last night though different? That's what I was kind of.
Well, the officials,
Nick.
I don't even think the officials
refs.
were that bad. Oh, there he is. Oh, there's Nash again. I don't even think they were that bad.
I mean, hey, look.
There was one.
I'm
they
not going to
called
say
where
it.
I
but
thought Josiah Alec actually. Oh, there's Nash, right? That kind of looks like Nash.
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Could be his bro.
I thought there was one that they called on Alec that looked like it was all ball in the first half.
Yeah,
Everything else, I'm like, yep, that looks like a foul.
That is always the narrative, you know.
Which was very frustrating, Connor, because there were fouls to be had and there were whistles to be blown, and Nebraska refused to actually do anything in the paint.
Yeah, unless
Feel
you're
like
Sam Hoiberg,
Feel like they could have helped that cause. Yes.
driving and kicking, and you know,
There was some, and here's the other thing: were they shooting into like the deepest arena they've ever played in? There were some violent misses.
that
They were like
that arena is unnecessarily large.
My
Yes.
God, some of the misses though. Like Juwan Gary was like at the block and on a turnaround, and he clanked like didn't even come close to getting rim.
Yeah, so he had the three right when they cut it down to 2, and he just completely airballed it.
Yeah.
Like 10 feet over.
Well,
the
and even like
basket.
CJ Wiltshire would have thought they played like 10 halves of basketball the day before because they were barely even drawing iron.
Yeah.
Again, just violent misses.
Violent misses.
That's the best way I can describe what I
Hey,
saw.
sometimes them's the breaks, you
Yeah.
know? Sometimes
Yeah.
you play okay and you go on the road and you get beat.
It got to 34-27. I thought, okay, this is looking good. I think I had to go to the bathroom or something. I came back and it was 37-35 Ohio State. So I had to rewind it. Like, what the hell did I just miss?
Mike writes in on YouTube.
Hi, Mike.
Hot Husker take. The Huskers will either win an NCAA tournament game because of Keisei Tominaga or lose an NCAA tournament game because of Keisei Tominaga.
That
Sizzling.
was red hot.
It's sizzling. No, I've made that case before. He can be their he can be their spark plug, or if it's not going that night, then he does. I will bargain with people on this on the officiating. He doesn't get many calls.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't get many calls.
He doesn't.
There's a lot of contact
Yeah.
involving Keisei
Because
Tominaga.
they know how they have to defend him. They have to basically stay with him,
just
hip
push
for
him
hip.
out. Yeah.
Yep. And then, like, if he gets away from him, they got to grab a jersey,
Mhm.
which last time I checked, yes, is a foul. But
I like the Robbie Hummel too. Robbie Hummel will just be like, "That's not a good shot.
yeah,
That was bad."
but he's a Nebraska fan.
He is.
Oh, he would that entire first half, even when they were taking some bad shots and Ohio
Sometimes
State
he'll
was
just
coming
be like,
back, he's like, "Oh man, they're so awesome."
Sometimes he'll just be like, I don't know what he's doing. And I really appreciate
I do
that.
like Robbie Hummel. I do. And he was saying that about Ohio State because there was that period of time when Nebraska was up by 7. Ohio State, unless you shot the ball for them, they were not going to make a shot. It was even like that rare moment when Jamison Battle was actually cold for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, hey, you know what would be really good to compound the problem? Let's put up some really quick shots out of our break, which will lead to their transition.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we could really help things out. It was dumb basketball.
So how did they?
It was very dumb basketball.
How did they turn out in the old metrics after?
You know what? I haven't
night?
looked. The only thing I looked at was Bracket Wag this morning.
Bracket Wag?
Bracket Wag. Shelby Mass does it daily.
Please tell me everything about Bracket Wag.
BracketWag.com. Shelby Mass of USA Today.
What's WAG mean?
I don't know.
Wives and girlfriends?
Yeah, Bracket Wags. Bracket wives and girlfriends. I mean, come on, guys.
These are the wives of the bracketologists?
Yeah, they all
Now
chime in.
that's a good bit.
Yeah,
Let's rank them and put them in a
Get
bracket.
Lunardi's wife.
Yeah. I want to talk to Jeanette Lenardi. I don't even know if that's her name.
I want to talk to Jerry Palm's wife. And
Crystal Palm.
just what she got?
Her name is Pam.
Pam Palm.
Pam Lenardi
Please
or
tell me.
Pam
Pam
Palm?
Lenardi.
I
Okay.
thought it was going to be Pam Palm.
I don't think
Pam.
there's any way to probably find Jerry Palm's wife. on
Just
the
like that,
internet.
you found Joe Lenardi's wife, huh?
She's a doctor.
Oh,
Wow.
that makes sense.
Mm.
Pam Lenardi. All right, I want to know what Pam Lenardi thinks.
Pam Lenardi, MD.
Bracket wives and
If I walked into the doctor and my doctor was last name Lenardi,
that would be cool.
I'd be like, I don't know. I'm gonna go to a different one.
No, I would have questions. Nothing about my checkup at all, too. So your husband is? She'd be like, yeah, he is. I'm like, all right.
Yep,
So let's go
that's-
over your chart. All
that's-
right, cool. But could you tell me what you think about Seton Hall right now? Because or is he mentioning Nebraska a lot? You know, when you talk to him, does he seem encouraged by them?
I gotta get out of here. My husband Joey Brackets has he's got a problem.
He's got a bracket emergency.
He's got a problem at home. Nebraska actually dipped quite a bit on the offensive efficiency.
Oh,
So
Ken Palm.
they were keeping.
Their offense was awful.
They were creeping up pretty close to the old metric that we like to quote, the top 25, whatever. I know there's been the one exception, for teams that can win the national championship. I think they were 38 or 39 in offense.
They only dropped 2 in the net
before yesterday. 48 in offense as of this morning.
No.
Still 31 on defense.
43 in the net.
But whatever. Hey, whatever.
Nothing about it was like, ooh, that's new. It was just same old when Nebraska plays dumb basketball. That's what it looks like. Yeah. Someone did ask me this question. I posed to you guys too. They said, can Rink Mass dunk?
Yes.
I believe I've seen him dunk a few times, but I think he prefers the lay-in.
Maybe not in late February or March. Maybe if you get him in October, he can dunk.
The legs are a little worn
Well,
down.
maybe not for him this year because
That's at the knee thing. Yeah.
Well, he had an incident involving a scooter.
That is true too. And then at some point, I think it was the Rutgers game. I don't know. Wolverine got to him.
Somebody clawed him.
Yeah. Freddy Krueger entered his dream, but so that might also be limiting his verticability.
Now, how about
Just
this?
throw that as a word.
Dion says the following about basketball.
Yep.
I don't support a sport where it's okay to lose every other game. We do have a bit of a we do have football brain a little bit around here.
Yeah. They were on a 4-game winner. They were on
and by the
double
way,
digits.
It's
too.
not okay if you lose every other game. That would be a very average season. You would go 16-16 or whatever. But as long as you win most of your non-conference and then you lose every other game, then you'll probably be okay.
That's the way to do it, Husker football fans.
Yep,
win games.
Couldn't we accept every other win though? Because that would get you bowl eligible. Just saying.
Nah, I want more.
Well, we gotta have more.
I want more than that.
Stack them all right in the middle and then don't win any at the end.
Hey,
that's the way to do it.
Hey.
Wait a minute. That seems oddly familiar. Huh. Has that happened recently? Oh, okay.
Jimmy says if Rink Mass tries to dunk, he'll get a bloody nose.
Well,
we haven't had a lot of blood from Rink lately.
Yeah, you know what I haven't even thought of though? Like trying to get up in the air when you are carrying that much water on your jersey because of the sweat.
Yeah.
That probably makes it a little heavy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just everything's a little heavier around this time of year.
That's the legs and just the clothing.
The general sweat.
Guy just sweats.
He does. He's a sweaty man.
He is a sweater.
He's a sweaty
Holy
man.
Hell.
All right, so it looks like Lincoln Christian's going to head to the state final here.
Congrats.
Class C1. So they're not doing They're not doing shot clock in Class C1. That's just A and B, right?
I think they do it next year.
Okay.
I think it's an all class thing starting next year.
They're jumping on board next year.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I believe that is correct.
It's good to see it at Pinnacle Bank Arena where they have infinitely less lines on the court. They still have a lot of lines, but less lines.
It's like, oh, this is where they play soccer. This is where they play pickleball. This is where you can play foursquare. Okay, cool. I believe this is where baseball does four corners.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, there's a little home plate right over on the left wing there. That's weird.
Hey, they can make this in. Oh, good. They can transform it into a baseball
field.
It's
a real old school gym.
Yeah, that is weird when you watch that.
Well, I think it's hard. I mean, you saw Creighton play at the Garden, and they were only taking threes from the NBA line.
Yeah.
All I know is if I'm in the Class A, B, whatever state tournament, and I see that deeper line, you know where I'm shooting from.
Absolutely.
I'm not like it's
kids love pulling up from that deeper line.
Well, it's disorienting. Like you don't want to shoot a basket with your foot on any line.
Yep.
So
you don't know. Like, is this going to count?
Right. It's just a little bit. It makes you think about it a little bit.
Especially if you know, like, there's some college coaches there. You just want to show them, hey, I have this range.
I got the range.
Just telling you,
I can shoot it.
This is what I can do.
Credit Bridgeport though for defending all the way to the last second.
They did,
and a 19-point loss.
They did.
Lincoln Christian.
There's no quitting that Bridgeport team. No, Connor,
not.
You're not undefeated if you got quit in you.
Lincoln Christian, they're kind of a girls basketball powerhouse a little bit right now. They're rolling. They got them going.
They're the New York Giants of Nebraska State basketball, upending the undefeated team.
Even though they weren't undefeated, their net ranking, I believe, was higher than Bridgeport's too. So this is not a really big upset.
It's a quad one.
Exactly. Yeah, they were. Yeah, it was a quad one. Their Ken Palm was pretty favorable.
Here's a question about Rink Mast on the text line.
Oh yeah.
Another question: can Rink Mast rebound or dribble the ball or do anything right? Nathan,
is that okay? That's not coming from a man named Zach.
No, it's Nathan.
Zach the Lego Maniac will actually hit us up once, sometimes twice. It was twice yesterday during the game when Rink Mast is having a tough one. We get a lot of Zach the Lego Maniac emails in game. That's how I could not even watch the game, and just based on the level of, or at least the amount of emails that I get from Zach, I could at least know how Rink Mast is playing. Because I think I even got an email from him when Nebraska was winning, despite Rink being absent in the production. He's just not a big Rink Mast fan.
We gotta quit with the football brain around here. You know, it's okay.
Yeah.
You can lose. It's fine. Sometimes the other team makes more shots than you do.
Well, the thing that sucked about last night, I honestly do believe that if Nebraska wins that game, they're good.
Yeah,
I think they're good.
And I think they're still good for the record.
I think they will. They're just going to have to Sunday, not a layup, but
but I'm not scared of Rutgers. I'm not scared of Rutgers. I held they beat Michigan by 40 or whatever last night.
It's only by 30. Come on.
Well, even football brains is going to have to change during football season because one loss is not the end of your season.
That's exactly right. 4 automatic qualifiers in 2026.
Are they sure we just don't want to skip to 14 this year?
Yeah, just do it now.
No, they're not sure. If you asked them if they could do that, they'd be like, sure, absolutely.
Just do it. Just add another game. Come on.
We'd love to do that. I love the thing last night that as we get more details on the potential 16-team playoff or 14-team playoff.
No, you're right, though. 16's coming.
Yeah, we'll go to 16 eventually. So there's obviously the Big Ten and the SEC wanting their automatic qualifier spots more than any other conference.
Yep.
And they would already get that because of the at-large bids anyway. Yeah. But the Big Ten and the SEC are not done. They are now requesting that they are guaranteed the buys.
Yes.
Great.
Well, their schedule's tougher.
They are running college football, and this is just a sign of things to come. So if you don't like it, sorry. It's not going away anytime soon.
It's very conflicting.
It's not going away, period.
It's very conflicting, right? Because we're in Big Ten country. Most
so
of
it benefits
our
us.
Listening audience is a fan of a Big Ten team. Mm-hmm. So whether it's Nebraska or Iowa or whatever. So yeah, you're in the club. You're cool now, but I don't think it's good for the I don't think it's good for the ecosystem. No. And I love a good ecosystem, Josh. What do I always say about bugs? I love bugs. They got to stay around. You guys are trying to swat around bugs all the time. I love the bugs.
I just don't understand why we have bugs in the studio in like January.
Well,
that was weird.
Understand that it's part of the greater ecosystem.
I think it's fair to expect no bugs in your office.
Yeah, I think that's fine too. I don't need them next to me.
I disagree.
Inside.
I say let the bugs live.
Yeah.
Let the bugs go.
Who do we got? Where is the
where's
coat?
Duda? Where's Duda?
Yeah.
Where's Duda?
And where is the yellow coat?
This is trash.
Did Duda get kicked off? What we
Or
got?
is he on the call? Is he actually like? Because this is just the
Whoever's
sideline
holding
reporter,
that mic, I don't care, needs a gold
right?
jacket.
He does need a gold jacket.
Even if it's not his, they need to tell him, you need to put this on over your nice polo.
He's got it's whatever the radio station. I see big something.
The big boy.
The big boy. That's what it
big
looks
boy,
like.
yeah, the big boy.
So that's 98.7, the big boy.
Yeah, that is. I can see the 9 in there too.
Great
is that
name.
a bear?
That's out of Sydney, by the way.
Is that a bear right there?
I hope, yeah, maybe like a polar bear of
I would
some
rock
sort.
that polo if they want to
Bear
do
the
it.
big boy.
If they want to do a trade,
Yeah, seriously, if they want to do big boy merch, I would buy a big boy shirt.
well, I'll trade them for some 1620 the zone.
There
Swag.
you go. A little radio trade.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like the jersey swap.
it is. That would be
Aw,
cool.
that
We
is
should
cool.
do that.
Yeah.
After the state basketball
I'll wear a
tournament,
Doug and Daddy shirt.
that would be pretty funny. Just you and Duda on the court taking a picture and
Yeah,
then giving
yeah.
him his
Oh, you
shirt.
got to
Shirt.
take a picture.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Otherwise, it's not official. It didn't happen. No, I'm okay. I said before we get done with the crossover, I wanted to see the mustard colored coat, and I'm not seeing one. And there was a perfect opportunity for whoever is interviewing Lincoln Christian girls coach Scott Klein, that this person interviewing would be wearing the mustard coat, and it's not happening.
Scott Klein, that's your boy, right? What's that guy's name? Klein? Steve
Chris Klein?
Chris Klein, yeah. I never remember his name. Such a
From American Pie.
For a second, you made me
American
think,
Pie.
am I supposed to know Scott Klein?
Scott Klein.
He
Scott
looks
Klein.
like he knows what he's doing. He's got a team that's heading to the state championship.
Of course he
He
does.
must know what he's doing.
I don't believe he's related to Chris Klein.
Probably
I could be
not.
wrong.
Probably not.
Could be wrong.
It's also Jim Weeks season. Get ready for
Oh, yeah.
Is Jim Weeks
Yeah.
in the tournament this year?
He's got to be.
It's the tournament.
That was
isn't
like
it?
when South Sioux City was playing and Kelly Flynn was always there.
It's always going to be Kelly Flynn.
Kelly Flynn in South Sioux City.
Let's
That was a-
see.
that was a wagon, man.
Boys state championship. Let me get the all class bracket out and then let me search.
Oh, I had it pulled up. Let's see.
Yeah, you bet. You bet Auburn is here, right? They got to be. Yeah, Auburn's a 3 seed, Class C1,
strong
26-0. They got DC West in the first round. Got a little
cakewalk.
Got a little Omaha flavor in there, though. We got to respect our people out of DC West. So don't sleep on DC West. But then they got either Ashland Greenwood or Donovan Trumbull in the semifinal. Yeah, Jim
Boom.
Weeks. Jim Weeks is gonna, he's gonna run that thing.
It's going to happen.
Yep, with a binder on his team, I'm sure. He does. He's always got a binder. There's Cam, Mav, whatever. How many binders are there? Who knows?
That's the
will ever
beauty
know.
about some of the smaller community schools is, whether they're brothers, sisters, or cousins, there's usually like a lineage.
There's another Shireman.
There's a player.
There
you
could
know.
be.
There is.
Oh, is there?
Booker.
That's a good one. Booker Shireman.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Now I don't know if they're in the state tournament this year.
Does he have a chance to be better than Baylor?
Let's. I don't see an Aurora in the Class B state.
951-1620. Is Booker better than Baylor?
Ooh, poll question. I didn't even know about. How old is Booker?
Oh no.
Is he's in high school, right?
Let's see.
Oh, they got the basketball stuck in the net.
He's 35. and
Somebody
they
get
just
up there and knock
let
him
play.
out. He's older.
Yeah.
He's the other Manning.
Let's check Booker Shireman's stats. Just a junior.
Okay.
He'll be a senior.
Good deal.
Be a senior this coming fall.
Good.
Last year he passed for 832 yards in football.
Ooh, is he
Got a highlight here from December: 2 steals versus York.
nice? Nice.
If you're looking for a pickpocket, you want to.
Is he a lefty? Do we know is he a lefty?
You can't have two lefties.
What if
right?
he had two lefties?
You can't have two.
I know you probably can't, but maybe that'd be kind of neat.
Just the law of averages. So
Throwing
you probably
dimes.
can't
Max
have two.
Prep says he's 6'3".
Okay.
He's got that length.
Mhm.
All right. He's going to go to South Dakota State for a couple years, and then he'll be at Creighton in 2030 or whatever.
See you here, Booker.
Sounds good.
Can't wait.
I remember Creighton had a Booker Woodfox.
Oh, who could forget?
Booker
Who could
Woodfox.
forget Booker Woodfox?
Such a great name. That was.
Do you think we're in for another, incredible game between Creighton and Marquette on Saturday?
I think Kolek doesn't play.
Yeah, it doesn't really It's not really trending that
It'd be kind of dumb to play him. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, he tried to come back in, and then
Yeah.
it was like, I cannot do this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think he'll probably play.
I'd rather have
Keep
my reigning Big East player of the year ready to go for at least MSG, if not NCAA tournament. Yeah, sure. I don't even know if Tyler Kolk in the game tomorrow. That I like Creighton tomorrow.
Yeah, me
with
too.
or without him.
Me too.
So, yeah.
But he can't read. So what impact might that have? If he can't play basketball and he can't read, then what is he supposed to do?
He won't be able to see the really mean signs that all the students are holding up.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
you can hold up a sign all you want. He can't read them.
Like it doesn't even faze him. This kid's just got ice water in his veins. Like we put up one of the most offensive things you possibly could on a piece of cardboard, and the guy wasn't even fazed by it.
He just looked at it and then
he can't read,
and then just continued on with his life.
Yeah, someone even tried to point it out to him, and he just smiled. God, there's no getting in this guy's kitchen. Do we have a point spread tomorrow?
No, but I could check our little KenPom thingy here. Let's see what they're cooking up. They say Creighton by 4, so probably looking at Creighton. Yeah, probably 3 or 4.
Okay,
4.5 maybe.
Yeah, I like Creighton Lane.
I do too.
Creighton Lane, I'd go 4. I think I can see 3.5, 4 tomorrow.
Yeah, somewhere in that range.
Yeah,
I do too.
It'll be good.
All right, what are you doing this weekend?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm just doing some house stuff. Good day of hoops tomorrow too.
Great day.
Yeah. Might be out there tomorrow for the
Jays.
The Jays game. We're trying to figure out if we can clear that, and then got some ice skating lessons with the little guy.
Oh,
nice.
What's up with the kids liking hockey?
I don't know.
You two. Very interesting.
When they see it live, I think they just become hooked.
Yeah.
I feel like when I first saw hockey at a younger age and I knew nothing about the sport, I was very interested. But that's all he wants to do. He would really, really like to be a hockey player if he didn't have to skate, though. He's not a fan of the actual
that's the hardest
skating
part,
thing.
right?
It is.
Well, have you ever thought about doing rollerblades?
I
did roller hockey for a little while.
It might not be a bad place for him to start, but now he's already like 7 lessons in. So
okay,
now I feel like he'd do more damage than good.
You're too far down the road.
Yep. He just needs to figure it out.
Nice.
Suck it up, kid.
Yeah, he's doing better. So yeah, we got all that stuff.
Cool. Enjoy your weekend.
See you at the ballpark next week too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo!
Maybe the Jays will be undefeated still.
Could be. Just mashing
Gonna
away.
take down all the service academies this weekend.
Yep. Put a hurting on them.
And Louisiana Tech, of course.
Yeah.
And then we go from there.
There.
Yep. All right. Enjoy.
guys.
That is Nick Hanley. That's the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. It's Friday. Big show. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
And I thought the quote from Ted Carter when he was asked the controversies that have followed Ross Bjork, Carter said, "A calm sea never produced a good sailor."
That made me laugh too.
To which I would say,
Thank you,
it makes a big difference, though, when the guy you hired is the one throwing the bombs in the ocean to make rough seas.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Breezy and mild to cap off the week Friday. Expect some cloud cover in the morning, then more afternoon sunshine. Breezy throughout with south winds gusting 15 to 25 miles per hour. Highs around 60. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees. The Source. By your mom's house.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
The needs of modern businesses are always changing, but corporate cards haven't evolved in decades. Until now. Meet Ramp, the all-in-one finance platform that combines corporate cards with spend management software. Ramp is the only card designed to actually help your business spend less, not more. With Ramp, you can set custom controls to stop out-of-policy spend before it even happens. And Ramp software even does expense reports for you. No more manual entries, no more chasing receipts. And with best-in-class accounting integrations, you'll close your books in days, not weeks. Ramp gives you better insights and a real-time view of all company spend. so you can stay focused on the big picture and build a healthier business. Join over 15,000 businesses who have switched to Ramp and start saving an average of 5%. Modern finance runs on Ramp. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. That's ramp.com/sports.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
If you're having problems in the bedroom, talking about it is the last thing you want to do. Same goes for hair loss, anxiety, or even depression. That's where HIMS comes in. Through HIMS, you don't have to talk about it. You can do something about it. Just go to hims.com/start, where you can find a variety of potential solutions for the problems men face every day and save up to 95% on generic alternatives. The entire process is 100% online, making it incredibly simple, straightforward, and above all, private. If prescribed, treatments made using clinically proven ingredients are shipped directly to your door in low-key packaging. So if you're experiencing ED, hair loss, anxiety, or problems with your general health, you don't have to go to the doctor, the pharmacy, or spend all day talking about it. Just go to hims.com/start and do something about it. Get started today at hims.com/start. That's HIMS.com/START.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
All right, good morning and welcome in. Happy Friday. It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. I am Connor Happer. There is Josh Odson.
Hello.
Hello. Josh, so we got eyes everywhere in the community, and I got a text last night that was a picture of Josh Odson at the movie theater, and I thought, yep, there he is. There's my guy. How was Dune 2?
Damn paparazzo. Really, really good, and I'm not super high on any of the previous Dune movies, so...
Yeah, I told you
pleasantly surprised.
I got through 45 minutes of the first Dune, and I couldn't push through.
It's kind of exhausting.
Yeah, kind of got to grind through it a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we had our eyes in the community out there last night to catch Josh in his natural environment.
I can't go anywhere in this town.
The text was, "What's your producer doing right now?" And I said, "I have no." This was the truth. I have no idea. But he's probably at the movies. And then the next text I receive is a picture of you at the movies. There were some other folks at the movies last night.
Yeah. None of them sitting by me, and I appreciate that.
That is good.
Leave me be.
So yeah, what's the theater capacity look like on a Thursday night to see what will be a popular movie?
Popular movie, it was a 9:45 show, which is even a little earlier than I prefer on Thursday night.
But you got to cut out the time because it's a 3.5 hour flick.
That's right. So there was a smattering of people there. I'd say maybe 2 dozen.
Was it a lively crowd? Did they?
Yeah.
Were there some oohs and ahs?
At first, I was like, oh, there's a lot of young women here who are clearly just here to watch Timothy Chalamet. I'm not trying to judge. Maybe they're into sci-fi, but they look like they're just there to ogle Timothy Chalamet, which is fine. I mean, buy your ticket and go to the movie for whatever reason you want to go.
That'll be the reverse of SNL this weekend when Sydney Sweeney hosts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not that it matters, but who's the musical guest?
Josh, this is going to sound bad, but I do not know.
You stopped asking questions after a certain point?
I just saw one promo and I didn't really hear what she said.
That's okay. I don't think it matters.
But what a great 2 weeks in a row for SNL for dudes who are my age. Shane Gillis and Sydney Sweeney.
The olds,
That's like right in their territory.
The olds are pissed.
Yeah. The olds like, why is this show for 30-year-olds now? Why is this show for 27-year-olds now? I thought it was for me.
I've been here longer.
Yeah, where's Chevy Chase? All right. Happy Friday, everybody. Bryan Munson coming up at the top of the hour. There's some recruiting stuff out there. We'll also ask him about some changes, whether it's a new signing day or whatever else to the recruiting calendar. So he'll join here in just a little bit. Bryan Christopherson. After that, we'll talk about Nebraska basketball's loss last night at Ohio State and what the weekend and then going forward, of course, looks like for them. Steve Sipple is moved back into the 1 o'clock hour today to clear out and make room for Josh's best friend, Frank Caliendo.
That's right. That's right. I called in a favor. I said, look, you're in town. You're just up the road, just down Dodge. You don't even have to make a turn. Why don't you come on down?
Yeah. So Frank's in town. He's doing a couple shows tonight at the Funny Bone, one tomorrow, or maybe it's reverse. Maybe there's one tonight and two tomorrow. Or, yeah, I think actually that's correct. But either way, he's got a sold out crowd at the Funny Bone. He's going to drop by and we'll just talk for a little while. What will we get into? I have no idea. I know he was around the Creighton facilities yesterday, so we'll ask him his takes on basketball. I'm sure he'll do some. Some impersonations.
I'm sure he knows it comes with the territory
as well. Yeah, if we really can make it work, I think I'd like to hear his impression of Steve Sipple, but I don't want to put the guy on the spot. But we'll see. We'll see what we're able to do in that regard. That's the lineup powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We'd love it if you got in touch with the show. 402-951-1620 on the 42 Degrees, the Source hotline. You can call or you can text that number. Twitter at Happer Show at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. And you can email Connor or Josh O at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. Elsewhere, we will spread out a little bit and talk about Nebraska's loss at Ohio State last night, of which I am not overreacting to.
They said calm, very cool, very collected.
They said last week, Connor, what's wrong with you? Why are you not reacting so poorly to this Creighton loss at St. John's? And I said, I don't know. It didn't feel that momentous to me. And it's really the same thing with this one last night in Nebraska basketball. They'll have two more chances in the regular season to get back on the right path. And they still, of course, have a path to the double bye at the Big Ten basketball tournament in Minneapolis. Caitlin Clark declares for the WNBA draft. And, of course, Darren Rovell makes it about himself, as he always does. Creighton and Marquette tomorrow afternoon, featuring maybe Tyler Kolek, but not probably Tyler Kolek.
How's he going to read whether or not he's in the lineup?
Somebody will have to verbally tell him.
No.
You mean me? And so Creighton will have their senior day where Baylor Shireman, Ryan Kalkbrenner, and Francisco Farabello will be honored. Mm-hmm. Who will not be honored tomorrow? Who's a senior and will not be honored?
I don't know what age anyone is anymore.
And will not speak to the crowd.
I'm sorry.
Well, I can think of one guy who played 3 years at Utah State and 1 year at Creighton, and that makes him a senior. And where's he?
No, he's a senior, like in terms of the government. The government considers him a senior citizen.
The man is married. That's Stephen Ashworth not walking tomorrow. So we'll talk about the Jays and what they
walking
need to do.
And running tomorrow.
We also have Jays tickets for you. It's the toughest ticket in town besides Frank Caliendo.
Mm-hmm.
So we figured, hey, we got a little special access. Why not do something for our listeners? You've been so kind. So we have a couple tickets to give away during the show. Nebraska baseball notches a nice win yesterday at previously undefeated College of Charleston with a furious comeback in the ninth, an aggressive base running.
Oh, base running, bunting, throwing strikes.
Oh, yeah. It feels good.
This is Connor's team.
College football rule changes and the Big Ten and the SEC taking over the world. Of course, as they always do. That is the show today, and that's the lineup powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. Of course, we'd like to hear from you guys from throughout the show today, and we say good morning to our YouTube audience streaming in this morning on youtube.com/1620 The Zone TV, and also conveniently located on our website, 1620thezone.com.
Which is a great website, and you need to go there and get yourself on the 16
Subscribe today.
Subscribe today,
which is what we're calling it. But I believe we're more officially calling it 1620 the email.
That's right. You're gonna want to give us your email address.
Well, you want me to tell people why? You want me to tell them why?
Can we? Is it still embargoed? Or
no? This is real now.
Okay, we can discuss it.
This is information that we can now give out.
Okay, I'll clear out. Everybody, stop what you're doing. Maybe pull over to the side of the road. Turn your radios up. Connor Happer, ladies.
There's a lot of different things, Josh, that I'm excited for with this specific promotion that we're doing here. It involves the big basketball tournament coming up in just a couple weeks. You'll have
the one with Caitlin Clark.
You'll have the other one.
Oh, okay.
You'll have many opportunities to watch the big basketball tournament, whether it's in the crowd in Omaha, or whether it's at your house with 100 TVs, or whether you're following Creighton or wherever Nebraska might be. But we are offering you a chance at a very, very unique opportunity. The big basketball tournament is coming up, and we have a chance for you to not only win a local watch party, 1620 the watch party at Backlot Tap House in Exarban for you and your crew. It's a great setup. I love the place.
There's a movie theater right next door.
Yep. That doesn't have anything to do with this, but
that's my point of reference in this town. I'm sorry.
That is true though. And more importantly, the grand prize is for one of you to and friends to head off to Vegas. Have you ever heard
Las Vegas?
Las Vegas. Have you ever heard of the Circa Resort and Casino? You know, the one that you always see with the big pool and the big TV?
I do. Yes. Famously.
That's where you can be.
You could be of Vegas.
You could be of Vegas watching the big basketball tournament on the giant screens.
Oh my goodness.
And if it makes it any better for you at all, it definitely makes it better for me. I'll be there. And Josh Peterson will be there. And Nick Grimm will be there.
And I won't.
And Josh Odson won't.
That's probably a bonus for a lot.
So there's either, there's wins and losses. So we're doing a couple shows from the Circa Sportsbook, Circa Resort and Casino, Stadium Swim, that whole thing. The second weekend of the tournament, the Sweet 16. Well, the second weekend of the tournament. Let's call it the second weekend of the tournament, Josh. And we're inviting you along. Why don't you come on down with us? Come hang out.
Yippee on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
If I won, I would ignore you guys.
What do you mean by that?
That's your right, Yippee.
Yeah, like you could go to Vegas and not have any contact with us whatsoever.
That's fine.
Absolutely. If that's your honestly, that's cool. That's super cool. Nick will be off playing
disc golf.
Yeah, he'll be tickling the chains, and Josh and I will be doing shows all day long. And so Nick is good. He could do whatever he wants, and you can keep it separate from us if you'd like to as well. But I would encourage you to head over to 1620thezone.com. Enter for your chance to win. Subscribe to our lovely email list. Subscribe today, or 1620 the email, whichever you'd like to call it. It is 1620 the Watch Party, powered by Circa Resort and Casino and Backlot Tap House. So grand prize and then a couple local prizes as well. There's only one way for you to get involved. Head over to the website, 1620thezone.com. That's the big announcement for the day. We're very excited to bring that to you from Las Vegas here in just a couple weeks. I hear the weather is always nice, except for when the F1 race is there.
And the Super Bowl.
And there does not happen to be an F1 race that weekend, so that is good.
Okay.
All right, Josh. We'll be telling you more about that as we go forward. But let's take a quick time out. We'll come back, discuss Nebraska basketball from last night. Munson joins us at the top of the hour. Plenty to come on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
I'm a fabulous driver.
The Connor Happer Show
I'm one of the best friends you could ever have in your life.
on 1620 The Zone.
I hate you.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-632-4056 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-632-4056. That's 800-632-4056. What do you have to lose? Call 800-632-4056. Again, 800-632-4056.
Roofing, siding, and gutters. Make the right call with the rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Trees. Are they all the same? Not at Lanahaw. Grown from a quality seed source, handcrafted in our local farms for generations, and acclimated to our tough Midwestern climate, Lanahaw's trees are different. Simply put, they're better. Much like our trees, we take great pride in being homegrown. Visit our garden center to find your next tree today. Rooted in quality, unmatched value. Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Join me, Jimmy Allen, for the Creighton Athletics Hour. We'll be talking all things Blue Jays and interviewing your favorite coaches, so you don't want to miss it. It's the Creighton Athletics Hour, Thursdays, starting at 6 o'clock, only on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and your 1620 The Zone mobile app.
Woodhouse has got you covered for your next car, truck, or SUV. We are committed to making the car buying and owning experience better, thanks to our knowledgeable sales staff and factory certified technicians. You can discover our large inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles anytime at woodhouse.com, where we have made buying a car easier than ever. Whether you need a family hauling SUV, a car to take you around town, or a hard-working truck, Woodhouse has something for everyone.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back. More of the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Jodson with you. We get a comment earlier from Yippee, I think, that said, Connor ready to pile on Nebraska. Connor not ready to pile on Nebraska today. Why would I pile on Nebraska?
Dion adding in, nah, you guys are Jaskers, so
Now, is that in response to the 1620 The Watch Party?
No,
like, he doesn't want to hang out with us?
No, that was in response to Yippee.
Yeah,
saying that we've been itching for weeks to pile on Nebraska. And here we go.
Well, that's one person on this show.
What?
Josh, you've been ready to strike occasionally this year.
All I'm saying is that in the NCAA tournament, there is no hey, the refs cost us the game.
Well, I mean, there is, but you don't.
There's no
unfortunately, you don't
delineation.
get to advance.
Remember when Creighton lost in the Elite Eight because of the refs?
Yeah, I can't really. I don't want to hear it with the foul discrepancy stuff. I really don't. And there's like, this is not me saying, oh well, there's every game there's fouls and there's on. But
It's a tough job.
like, I understand that there is bad officiating. I'm just saying, last night in a vacuum, I watched that game, and I didn't notice. And the only time I really noticed was when I hopped on Twitter and everybody was tweeting about foul discrepancy, and then I did a tweet at the end of the game that said, "Hey, I think Ohio State just had the answers tonight," and that's the way I thought about the basketball game, where Nebraska was. They were hanging in there, and then they kind of made their run a little bit when coming back in the second half after they got down early in the second half, and they kind of were just chipping away. And every time Nebraska got within kind of arm's length, Ohio State just made a big shot. And that's, Jamison Battle had a huge night last night. And like, forgive me, that was just the way that I thought about the basketball game. He had 32. Nebraska got, they allowed 9 offensive rebounds last night, so they had a couple second chance opportunities. And they couldn't ultimately get anything started on offense inside to generate themselves some good shots, whether it's on the outside or whatever. Jamarcus Lawrence was kind of holding them up on their back for a little while with his personal run. I think it was 11-0 or 11 straight points for Nebraska in that second half. So I just, when I watched, I wasn't amazed. I didn't find myself saying, damn, like the refs are really killing us here tonight. The refs are really doing it to us tonight. But it was more from the perspective of, dang, like Nebraska just needs one stop. They got to find one stop. They got to get one rebound, push out, and get out in transition and stuff like that. It just felt like they were one away. And I think they were 2 points down when Gary had a pretty good look from one of the wings and he airballed it. And that, like, the point is, sometimes them's the breaks. I like that. And it's not like, I don't think Nebraska played that poorly last night. I think Nebraska's still a good team. I don't think anything differently about them that I did yesterday. There was always a chance that they were going to lose that game. They weren't favored
on the road.
They weren't favored last night, right? So I forgive me. I know we live in an overreaction culture here, but I'm not overreacting.
Connor Happer, Jack John, handshake meme.
Yeah. Oh, good.
On Twitter.
What do we got?
When there are extreme foul discrepancies, there's a reason for it. No crew is going to blatantly call a game that sideways on purpose. Got to get to the rim. And Jack John, forgive me, I didn't dig through some of your other tweets. They popped up, like, because that's what Twitter does now. It's like, hey, you might like this tweet too.
Actually, I don't.
I don't need it. But this is kind of useful. He tweeted a bracketology screenshot for Nebraska. And Jack John said, no movement as expected. Last night's game was merely an opportunity for Nebraska to gain some ground, nothing more. Losing it made it slightly difficult to get a double bye. Still think we'll get there, though, and slightly more difficult to get off the 8-9 line.
Yeah. That's the story. I think that's pretty well summed up there by Jack John.
What a rational fan.
Like, nobody's going to kill you. Although I was interested in the broadcasters talking about Ohio State's at-large chances and all that stuff. I mean, they're like, what, second or third to last in the league right now. I know they've had some big wins recently, but not to say that they're a bad team. But they've been able to, well, Josh,
they did fire their coach.
They fired their coach and then have started ripping off some wins. So, like, you caught them at a much different time. And then, last time you played them in Lincoln, number one, it was in Lincoln. And number two, I mean, I think Rink Bass, that was the game where he went for 30 or whatever it was. Like, he was bombing all over the place. He had a big couple of them last night. It's pretty simple to me. Nebraska couldn't get anything going on the inside against some of their big dudes. Ohio State was playing with a little swagger, and Nebraska really hung in there for a long stretch of time and had it down to just a bucket at basically the under 4. And then Ohio State came out and they shoved them away. They kind of pushed them away. Not literally, because we're not talking about fouls, but just they just kind of kept them at arm's length. And that's okay. Sometimes you lose basketball games. I do think we get a little football brain around here sometimes, and it's not always the most appealing thing in the world, to be completely honest with you. Like it's all right. Your team's got 20 wins. It's good. They're going to the NCAA tournament, and you lost on the road to a team that's beaten a lot of teams recently, including them going out and winning on the road in the Izzone. It wasn't in Izzo the month, but it was in the Izzone.
Technically, yeah.
Last weekend. I thought Lawrence was good. I was a little interested in sort of like this will be one to watch, I guess, going forward. Just sort of the teeter-totter of what do we do, offense, defense, like what is Tominaga giving us on a nightly basis?
I believe today that needs to be the teeter. Todd.
It's so you have to, I think that's a game by game thing. And that's the thing that depth gives Nebraska. They have the flexibility to kind of reshape their ball of clay of a team into whatever they want to be on any given night. And I thought, I mean, Hoiberg for long stretches, Sam was giving him a lot. He came out the box score -5, and that's sometimes a part of the lack of what he gives you offensively just in the box score. But, I mean, for a while there, Nebraska's offense was getting bogged down. It was just him and Lawrence, and it was Sam driving. Like, he can get to whatever spot he wants to get to. He can't really finish, but he can get to whatever spot he wants to get to, and you can get great driving kick opportunities, and Nebraska didn't make enough shots out of those driving kick opportunities that Hoiberg gave him. And then, you know, in the Tominaga minutes, it wasn't enough last night. He took a bad, falling away step back 3 that Robbie Hummel kind of called out. He went 2 of 7 from 3 in the game. I'm not burying the guy, and then Gary, who you got a great game from last time out against
Gary
Michigan. Gosh, now I'm having trouble figuring out. Minnesota. Yeah, it was the Minnesota game where Gary was just knocking down threes all over the place. He went 3 of 12 last night and 0 of 6 from 3. Sometimes those are the breaks. All you could do is generate good enough shots, and I thought Nebraska generated good enough shots last night. They didn't go in. They didn't make them. Sometimes they missed, as Nick Hanley put it, what did he say? Tragically or like the horrible misses, whatever. I like the wording that he used.
Painful?
No, it was something more than that.
Yeah, it was more than that. Yeah, it was good. I remember thinking the same thing. I was like, ooh.
So you get Tominaga, who was 2 of 7 from 3. You get Gary, who was 0 of 6 from 3. And so, that combined is what, 2 of 13. And, you're going to have one of those guys going. Rink got going a little bit. Wilcher made the one from the corner. Other than that, if you make a couple more of those, you're right there. You're in the game. You probably are going to have a chance to win. Sometimes them's the breaks, man.
Joel,
it's pretty simple to me. And that's pretty much what happened to Nebraska or Creighton at St. John's. You could generate good shots. Sometimes the other team generates the shots that they want to too, and sometimes they don't, and they go in. It's Josh, have you ever heard this before? It's a make or miss game.
Heath helps us out on
violent
misses.
Violent misses.
Joel brings up a good point on YouTube. Tominaga -21 last night.
Yeah.
Juwan Gary -18.
I was interested in the idea of because that was during the minutes where Hoiberg was really giving them activity when the offense was getting bogged down. And then they went right back to Tominaga because I guess they felt like they kind of needed the spark and needed the offensive capability to kind of get over that hump. But man, I like that look of that lineup for a couple minutes with Hoiberg there, and then Tominaga came in and kind of took a bad 3. I think Nebraska's at the point where they have to live with a little bit of it, and I love that they have the flexibility to kind of interchange those two on what the game calls for
right
on any given night. So that's really good for them. But you have to be really careful with how you manage their minutes and feel of game and flow of game and all that stuff. And The other team had a guy who went off for 32 and he made 10 of 10 free throws, and Gale made 8 of 12 from if you want to talk about the Nebraska fouling thing, okay. They made all their free throws. Like they got an opportunity to go to the free throw line and they cashed in on their opportunities. Nebraska generated some pretty good looks. They didn't cash in on their opportunities enough last night, but no sweat off my back for Nebraska. Like if you're looking at this from Nebraska perspective, it's really, really okay. It's really okay. From the text line from the 402, Josh is more likely to pile on Nebraska than Connor. Thank you for recognizing that text from the 402.
I've done no piling.
I appreciate that. Doc says Nebraska's offense was shooting threes. That's it. Nebraska's offense is live and die by the three, and they died. They died.
If they died, they died.
If they died, they die. Pedro says, hi, guys, Connor.
Hi, Pedro.
When the refs or when the teams have different talents and the refs try to make the game more competitive, they call the game differently. The less talented teams gets to be more physical. The refs would foul out half the team if they called the game correctly. Thanks, Pedro. Yeah, it obviously changes a little bit as you go from game to game. I just when I look back at that game and I'm thinking of the 1, 2, 3, 4 most important things, I just don't think one of them was the foul discrepancy. I'm talking about as the game was kind of unfolding and possession to possession, there were some things that Nebraska could have done a little bit better. You didn't have it last night. Ohio State took advantage and Nebraska couldn't generate enough paint touches. Okay. Yeah, that's the story of the game, in my opinion, not the foul discrepancies or the free throw rate or, whatever it might be. Also, think about Nebraska not getting anything going in the paint, and them. It wouldn't if we can talk about Nebraska not getting anything going in the paint and how they're live and die by the three. Is it really that surprising that they didn't shoot a lot of free throws last night?
Got to get to the rim,
right? That's where fouls come from.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what percentage of fouls in basketball come from inside that little painted area down there. My guess would be a lot.
They let you play down there.
A lot of the percent of them. So, like I said, it's okay. It's really okay. Nebraska's going to be just fine. I expect them to take care of business at home against Rutgers and a motivated group on Sunday on senior day. And we'll see what happens with Michigan. But either way, I think Nebraska's sort of gotten over that hump for how people look at them from a perception perspective. And they say, yeah, I think Nebraska has the look of an NCAA tournament team. They've done enough for me. And I think they're good. I don't think you're in any danger of that. We'd love them to get a double bye. We'd love them to get as high a seed as they possibly can in the NCAA tournament. But like I said, you make the dance and you kind of go from there. All right, so that's Nebraska basketball from last night. We will get into more of that with BC and probably a little bit with Sipple in the 1 o'clock hour as well. But coming up next, we'll talk some recruiting. A lot of stuff going on for the 25 class, of course, and then some changes in the calendar potentially coming down the pipe as well. Bryan Munson of Husker Online joins the show on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Are you a delivery driver looking for a better job opportunity? Host Coffee is a local family-owned coffee, water, and vending company that has been in business since 1972. We are growing, and we now have openings for delivery drivers and other positions starting at $22 an hour with full benefits. If you're interested, visit hostcoffee.net/careers to connect with us.
Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
You know what Mentality can help you with? Low energy, motivation, weight gain, muscle loss, fatigue, tired all the time, feeling anxious, moody, irritability, impatience, anxiety, and depression. Mentality can help you with their board-certified physicians and their testosterone treatments that can take care of you and get you back in the game. You can regain normal function and restore your ability to perform normally at all levels just by Mentality. Set up an appointment today. Go to lowtusa.com. Get back in the game. Don't sit on the sidelines and let mentality lead the way.
Dino here with Leach Camper Sales. You'll be pleasantly surprised to see how affordable an RV can be. We have travel trailers with payments as low as $150 a month for qualified buyers, and they're ready to drive off the lot. Check out our inventory at leachcamper.com and bring us your trades. And don't forget, shop is always on.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Bring your family to Isla Del Mar, the best of Omaha choice for Mexican seafood. Isla Del Mar has an extensive menu that features made-from-scratch sauces, seasoned meats, seafood and sushi, authentic homemade recipes, and a variety of amazing drinks. Isla Del Mar is locally owned and family-operated. We invite your family to join ours for a unique culinary experience. Visit us at one of our 2 locations, 36th and Q on the Q Plaza, or at 133rd and Center next to Dave & Buster's. Take a trip to Isla Del Mar for the best Mexican food in Omaha.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
If you're having problems in the bedroom, talking about it is the last thing you want to do. Same goes for hair loss, anxiety, or even depression. That's where HIMS comes in. Through HIMS, you don't have to talk about it. You can do something about it. Just go to hims.com/start, where you can find a variety of potential solutions for the problems men face every day, and save up to 95% on generic alternatives. The entire process is 100% online, making it incredibly simple, straightforward, and above all, private. If prescribed, treatments made using clinically proven ingredients are shipped directly to your door in low-key packaging. So if you're experiencing ED, hair loss, anxiety, or problems with your general health, you don't have to go to the doctor, the pharmacy, or spend all day talking about it. Just go to hims.com/start and do something about it. Get started today at hims.com/start. That's HIMS.com/START.
Bring your family to Isla Del Mar, the best of Omaha choice for Mexican seafood. Isla Del Mar has an extensive menu that features made-from-scratch sauces, seasoned meats, seafood and sushi, authentic homemade recipes, and a variety of amazing drinks. Isla Del Mar is locally owned and family-operated. We invite your family to join ours for a unique culinary experience. Visit us at one of our 2 locations, 36th and Q on the Q Plaza, or at 133rd and Center next to Dave & Buster's. Take a trip to Isla Del Mar for the best Mexican food in Omaha.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Come out!
Bryan Munson.
Hey, long call. Comfy left Zoom Buster. 63 Bang Z Maui. Alert. Paradise Z Burger Y Wrap. All one.
Husker Online on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, they're going to have to do a lot more of that in college football in there now, that Paradise Z Burger Y Wrap, that whole thing. So we got another rule change this morning from the NCAA Football Rules Committee. Some technology rules where we have some coach-to-player communications through the helmet. The one player in the field, have no idea what that could be in reaction to that took over last college football season. So, yeah, there's Bryan Munson of HuskerOnline.com. Joins us now on the 42 Degrees Source Hotline. Hi, Brian.
You're making me giggle offline. I'm sorry about that. I didn't know my mic was open. So, but yeah, that was hilarious. I every time everybody says the word technology, particularly in this context, I think about Napoleon Dynamite's brother Kip, and he's singing that song about how he loves technology. That should be like gift out everywhere on Twitter. Like, I love technology. Like, yeah, that should be what we're talking about. Right?
Yep. So that is the deal, and that's not a bad thing, by the way, for college football. No. Not at all. I don't think.
Well, and you nailed it. I mean, so first of all, happy Friday. And
yes.
The the technology gap that's been there between the professional NFL level and college has been there for a few years now, where they've had tablets on the sideline and they've had, the ability to speak into the earpiece and some sort of, off field to the on the field communication that's happening electronically. And then you had this, this big thing with Michigan and the staffer that was, basically doing the scouting and had the signs and could relay that back over to coordinators and make adjustments in flight. They need to get that. They need to get that handled and handled yesterday. I'm all in support of this. First of all, the technology is there. They should be using it, and it makes I think it would make the game better, crisper. You take other things out of like that. I don't want to call it cheating, even though I kind of feel like it was, but you eliminate that type of situation from ever happening again.
Yep. Bryan Munson of HuskerOnline.com is with us. Okay, so while we're on the subject of rule changes and legislation and stuff like that really takes over the offseason of college football nowadays, whether it's teams moving conferences and whatever, just stuff happening outside of the sport. And then to the sport, we had an interesting sort of proposal this week. Now there's like a bunch of different angles on this, and we tried to go through them a little bit yesterday on the show. But what would be the impact of a potential third signing day coming into play that would be added in after June, basically, as well as keeping the December and the February ones that we already have? I guess you'd be moving the December one up a little bit from the way it sounds. Right. But there's from the coach's perspective, there's from the team's perspective, the fans, and then of course the players as well. What do you think the immediate impact of that would be?
First of all, I'm not a big fan of the June date. Anyway, I know that a lot of players make their decisions either by that time frame or sometime very closely to or around like 4th of July. I'm still very much, thinking sometime end of August, maybe Wednesday after Labor Day would make a little bit more sense, but it doesn't take out of play the possibility that a player decides they're going to opt out of their senior year. Think about that just for a second. Think about when I was doing all the stat checks last year for the Nebraska recruiting class in 2024, it seemed like every single week for the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, another 2024 commit got hurt and was lost for the year.
Yeah.
These guys now, if they've already done all the work they need to do to earn a D1 offer, to be committed and know that they're going to sign on or have signed now in June, not going to be able to just sign, but have signed, they don't have anything to play for anymore except for pride in the team. And when you get kind of down to that level, that's where I think that, the appreciation kind of comes back in when you don't have some players opt out now in the bowl schedule and senior bowls, etc. But that could honestly become a thing now where you have players that want to decide that they're going to go ahead and opt out. But look at it from like another side now too. Like what if a player starts to have, from a coaching perspective, maybe there's a discipline problem. Maybe there's an issue academically. Maybe there's something that's changed with that player that, isn't so savory anymore about having them committed to you in your class, because they kind of just let senioritis happen, because what they needed to accomplish in high school to get that D1 offer, they've accomplished by June.
Right.
And that here on out until January, they don't need to worry about anything. They can just kind of act in the way that they need to do just to kind of bide their time, because they're done. And I didn't
even think about that. It's a good point. Like it's probably not that many people, but it that would definitely come up, I think, Bryan.
Yeah, and I still think the coaching change issue is, with particularly the portal, doesn't really impact the signing day. Something else that needs to be, thought about. But I don't like the June. I don't like the June date. I would much rather put it somewhere closer to the start of the school year. Give them the month of July. Give them the opportunity. And here's the other thing too. If you're going to put that June date in, you're probably going to have to start talking about juniors taking official visits the fall of their junior year.
Yep, that's true too. I was also thinking, yeah. Go ahead, finish that.
Well, I was just going to say, everything that moves left now for one class, you start to finally feel the impact to the next class. And I think that this is the one kind of that button that pushes that. Sorry about that. I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, you're good. I was also thinking about, and we're familiar with a lot of this because this is how traditionally kind of recruiting has been with local athletes. There's not a whole lot. There's not a great percentage of high end like guys who have already established that they're going to be Power 5 recruits and have their entire process played out and have made visits by the time that their senior football season starts in the fall of their senior year. And so what this state has kind of been about is a lot of guys who will put really good senior film out there, and then they will take advantage of that and pick up a couple offers late and then maybe be ready to sign by December or February or whatever it might be. We've kind of seen, whether it's the transfer portal or the continual kind of, I don't know if it's phasing out, but I think it makes life a little bit difficult for those type of guys who maybe they haven't been on the camp circuit, maybe they haven't fully bloomed yet and need that senior year to continue to show people that they could play at this level. Like I think it hurts that group again because spots are going to get gobbled up in June.
I totally agree. And I think that, the late bloomer side is a great angle for it. I think that there's some buyer beware questions, when it comes to maybe some limited tape, maybe a guy that looks good in a short amount of time and you jump at him a little bit. I don't like the June date. I maybe even marginally like even just a little bit more the August, September one that I'm suggesting. I definitely like moving it up a little bit closer towards the end of the regular season, like maybe the first Wednesday in the month of December. In fact, I kind of thought it was already there before. So like when you and I were kind of treading water there the first couple weeks of December, and I'm kind of like looking at my watch and going, signing day's coming up, right?
Yeah.
ESD's here. And I got it confused, of course, with the first Wednesday in February. So we all thought, at least I did, it's a bad generalization. I thought in the December signing date would not become the complete replacement that it has been for February. And those schools really wanted to move things left. They wanted to get things done and wrapped up by January, and good on them. But you can kind of see that potentially happening here as well, to where, they're going to want to be 75, 80% complete now, by that July 1st date. And I don't know. I think that's, like my dad always said, 10 pounds of stuff in a 5-pound bag right there.
Yeah, it's it would pose a big change. That's for sure. We've had a lot of, and that's the other thing, Munson. Like we've just had so many changes to the calendar, and then just generally the way recruiting works now, whether it's contact with coaches and how much or little you can have, or the impact that the portal has had on all of this stuff. It's been awfully rocky, just kind of moving around with inconsistency over the last, 5, 6, 7, 8 years now, where it's, I don't think anybody, by the time we figure the whole December thing out, we're going to introduce another signing day, and it just becomes another thing that coaches and people inside the programs have to kind of tackle. I don't think the inconsistency is really good for anybody either.
No, I completely agree with that too. There's a constantly evolving story and timeline here that they need to make adjustments around. Maybe there was some kind of, water cooler gossip thing about, and that's why you're seeing like a fairly significant recruiting date, like what Nebraska is looking like they're going to have for official visitors in April for the spring game. Maybe that's why some of these things have been accelerated here a little bit. But yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, if you're having to evolve and change and update how you're looking at things and how you work and how you're doing your job, basically on a 4-month or 6-month kind of cycle, it's hard to kind of consistently be able to kind of keep those same milestones, in your best view, your current view, and what you're trying to do with your job. It's just, there seems to be this way too much evolving, updating kind of thing going on with the NCAA right now. And then maybe they're still trying to find like the magic sauce. Maybe they're still trying to look for the magic way that this is all supposed to kind of come together. But you're just kind of trying out ideas and suggestions now by adding a third. And I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. We'll see what happens. There's got to be a reason why it's being proposed.
Okay, what else are we looking for? I mean, I know there's been a lot going on, whether it's scheduling official visits or unofficial visits for this summer and camps and stuff like that. And we've talked a lot about these local guys over the last few weeks here. But I guess what have you been watching over the last week or so that's kind of come in with some of these guys who are getting ready to map out their summers and what they're going to do?
Yeah, it's been interesting. I kind of laid it out in Tunnel Talk a little bit this morning. I would have been putting up story after story with all the visitors that basically we added this week. And like I mentioned before, that April 26th, 27th weekend now has 7 official visitors confirmed to be there, including the number 1 wide receiver in the nation, Michael Terry from San Antonio, Texas, Alamo Heights High School. That right there to me is just one of those reasons for everybody to feel just so excited and good about how Matt Rule and his staff are doing when it comes to recruiting. I know that this is not a commitment. And I know that they got on a bunch of guys last year for the spring game and for the junior day beforehand, but they're continuing to do this and push. And they've got, I think it was 5 or 6, and I'm not going to go back here and count it out. It's either 5 or 6. I think it's 5. Top 300 players. I think they have 6 4-star guys out of that total 7 already confirmed coming in that weekend that are 4 stars. And I just feel like they are doing such a fabulous job. Obviously, that's a very important weekend as you kind of go back and take a look at it, the way it played out in 2024 and 2023 for the 2024 class. This will be the same way. It's going to be that this will be the one that we're going to go back and we're going to talk about the success that they had in the class based on this weekend. It's going to be a huge insignificant class, but they've also got a couple weekends now in June where they've got 4 guys coming in for each one. They've got a couple of unofficial visitors also that are very significant. Most notably, Noah McKyle from California, 4-star linebacker from Laverne, California. You also get a chance to host Chase Lofton, and Chase Lofton, I think, is going to be, based on the timelines he was sharing with me, last weekend or 2 weekends ago with in-state tour. I think he's very close to dropping his top list of schools. And then you also are going to get a chance to support or get a chance to host Jack Lang even before he comes in for spring game. So lots of stuff going on. This information, by the way, for everybody out there, it's free. Just go to Husker Online, go to the top, go find the football recruiting drop down, go to visits, check it out, and then just remember that you got to go to each year. It lists it by 2025 and 2026, and we even got some guys coming in for 2026 too. So go out there and check it out.
Yep. But also, if you want the good stuff, you can, you can pay money to get that access.
The Tunnel Talk today was incredible. The other thing we talked about was, along with all the official visitor news and the other visitor news, going through and kind of turning over stones this week, I was able to find at least, 2, if not 3 guys that, Nebraska's, they're not even considering Nebraska anymore. And these are guys that, of course, have visited Nebraska previously, very, very recently, in fact, some of them, and they just kind of moved on. So the board is evolving right now, and it has been evolving even since the January Junior Day visits. So interesting stuff today in Tunnel Talk to kind of go back out there and take a look at that stuff.
Yep. Just check it all out, huskeronline.com. Munson, as always, we appreciate the time, my friend. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you next week, buddy. We'll see you.
Bryan Munson of huskeronline.com. One of the things he mentioned in there, too, was how he had, in talking to all these recruits, Dylan Raiola comes up quite a bit.
Oh, really?
Surprising. Mm-hmm. Surprising that Dylon would come up a little bit. So I don't know that the staff is like, selling it specifically, but I think it kind of sells itself, which
Just in case you forgot.
That's the best recruiting tool, right? Like word of mouth. Oh, this is what people think when they look at our program right now. This is what people think about the future of our program. We're okay with that. We're okay with that. That projects a pretty bright future. I think there's pretty good reason for that. All right, BC is up next. We'll talk hoops with him. If there's any football topics that we stray into, we will get there as well in our weekly chat with Bryan Christopherson next on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Roughly 11,000 players in college football, so they're getting $600 a piece. If you do the math, that's $6.6 million that they're paying out in NIL deals. No one has negotiated this $6.6 million figure on behalf of any player. This was a number that they set.
Yeah, and I'd be very interested to know how they came to that number, right?
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
More sunshine this afternoon, staying warm and breezy with the high today in Omaha of 62 degrees and southerly wind gusts possible up to 25 miles an hour. Mostly clear and pretty mild tonight, though breezy early. A low by tomorrow morning, 34 degrees. Mostly sunny, warm, and breezy with very high fire danger for your Saturday, a high tomorrow of 72. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV News Watch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Spring is in sight. Looking to wake up your yard this season? Make your neighbors green with envy with Lanahaw's wide selection of landscape supplies and homegrown plant material. Get a head start today. Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Omaha fans, are you ready to score tickets to your favorite events hassle-free? Yes. Shop local Tickets for Less, located right here in Omaha, 145th and West Center Road. No hidden fees, just transparent pricing. And when you use the promo code THEZONE at checkout, you'll save big at ticketsforless.com. Whether it's sports, concerts, or something else, Tickets for Less has you covered. If you have a question, call today, 402-398-1999. You'll never find better customer service because every seat holds a story. Find yours and use the promo code THEZONE at checkout at ticketsforless.com.
The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Email me, Connor Happer, with the Connor Happer Show at Connor, CONNOR, at 1620thezone.com. Send me your love, your hate, and maybe a few hot takes. The Zone Inbox, presented by Equitable Bank.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
The needs of modern businesses are always changing, but corporate cards haven't evolved in decades. Until now. Meet Ramp, the all-in-one finance platform that combines corporate cards with spend management software. Ramp is the only card designed to actually help your business spend less, not more. With Ramp, you can set custom controls to stop out-of-policy spend before it even happens. And Ramp software even does expense reports for you. No more manual entries, no more chasing receipts. And with best-in-class accounting integrations, you'll close your books in days, not weeks. Ramp gives you better insights and a real-time view of all company spend, so you can stay focused on the big picture and build a healthier business. Join over 15,000 businesses who have switched to Ramp and start saving an average of 5%. Modern finance runs on Ramp. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. That's RAMP.com/sports.
Hey, Brian. Bryan Christopherson.
I gotta take this a tap.
B-Rye, B-Rooney, drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry.
Bryan Christopherson, Husker 24/7 on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
I gotta take this. It's Hap. I like that. Like when you can infuse both of the things into one. Bryan Christopherson joins us now on the 42 Degrees The Source Hotline. BC, good morning. Happy Friday. How are you?
Good morning. That was why I was at that Denver biscuit place the Friday before the Colorado game.
That's
where
right.
that sounds-
And I don't remember, did you get the Franklin like I told you to?
I think so. Yeah, I left the table and left it, and it was cold when I came back, but it was all because of you. I don't want to just keep bringing it up, but it was really quite a gesture by me.
I appreciate it, and I still do. And it's a giant biscuit with gravy on top of it. I could never forget the biscuit, even if it was cold. All right, let's get into Nebraska basketball from last night, who loses on the road at Ohio State. I am in no mood, Brian, to freak out over last night's result for Nebraska basketball. And I just knowing you, I don't think you probably would be either. Like, what was your takeaway from Nebraska getting close to cementing, but ultimately probably not doing so last night?
Yeah, I'm not freaking out, but it was a disappointing game, in part because when you found out Ohio State was without Thornton, you thought, okay, that they've been humming, but he's such a key part of what they do. And then they just let, Jamison Battle get real comfortable early on. I know the foul discrepancy has been a big conversation point with Husker fans, and I get some of that, when a team shoots 20 more shots from the foul line than you. Hoiberg, though, did in his post game, and I tended to agree with them. Maybe there were some iffy calls, but Nebraska was jumpy on defense.
Yes.
I mean, they were committing a lot to guys' fakes and stuff like that, and some of those fouls were definitely legit. So, Nebraska settled for 33 shots behind the arc. That's sometimes what they do, but sometimes that foul stat skews that way when that happens too. But yeah, it was a missed opportunity. There's no doubt about it. Even on a night when Nebraska didn't have their fastball, you're within 2 with a few minutes left, and Juwan Gary lines up a 3 that would give you the lead, and it doesn't happen. So you got to just get back at it today, because even before that game on our board, I was saying it was kind of a goofy hypothetical, but I said, if you're Fred Hoiberg and you were told you have to lose the Ohio State game, but you get the Rutgers win and you can wake up Monday morning with that, would you take that deal? I would. And I still think that. So, I mean, Rutgers is a quad 3 game that you just can't let be a blemish on your resume. So if you get that one, I really feel like when it's all said and done, it's going to be hard to pick apart Nebraska's resume enough for them not to be in. But Sunday's the game where you just handle your business one more time at home, and everybody's feeling pretty good throughout next week.
I think so too. Just from what their tournament hopes look like, and you still have a chance at the double bye as well if you could pick up a couple wins here down the stretch. I was interested in sort of and this I like. First of all, let's say this: I love the fact that Nebraska has this ability to kind of mold their lineup whichever way that they want to, based on and dictating how the game is going. And I think that bodes well for them in a tournament type of setting. It means you can kind of adjust to what's going on in the game. But how do you manage the Hoiberg Tominaga, kind of teeter-totter over the last, couple weeks of the season here, knowing what each of them can give you on any given night, and then also having the super variable of what Tominaga could produce or could not produce on any given night?
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those that's got to be a feel thing somewhat based off the matchup. And there's certain nights where like Sam Hoiberg's had like plus 25 nights on his plus minus, has been one of the best guys, with what he does. And maybe there's matchups that aren't as favorable. You can kind of sometimes tell early on if Casey's got it going, like he hits those first 2 shots. It's just like, look out.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be nice if Wilcher hit a couple shots last night, still didn't have a great percentage. You're kind of waiting for that one game where he busts out for 15 points or something like that. So it's a fair question. It's hard to answer because I just think it is kind of a game-to-game thing where you have to have a good feel for okay, this is the rhythm we have with this particular lineup. The one guy who's really changed the equation and looks the most confident on the floor right now is Jamarcus Lawrence. Yeah. I mean, even last night, He picked them up after the tough start in the first half, and he did it again in the second half when he scored 8 in a row and kind of got them back above the water.
Yeah, he had a big three when they were really bleeding there for a little bit in the second half.
You can just tell, too, there's like no hesitation in him, right? Like he feels good about his game and all that. So he's going to be a guy who's going to be hard to keep off the floor. I like him still coming off the bench, but I noticed like last night, I think he popped in the 17-minute mark or something. I think you're going to just see him out there quicker and quicker the way it's been going.
Yeah, there's, and I've been asking this question to people all week, and we talked about it a little bit too. There's quite the variation on kind of what you're going to get from him on any given night, and it could be really good, or it could be a little bit closer to what we saw last night. I don't think they played that poorly, but obviously, when you talk about tournament settings, it's either you lose in the first round or, and you play the next game after that. But I do think, BC, the ceiling for this group is they could make a little bit of a run. The hard part about it is, especially for a program that's never won an NCAA tournament game, if you play not, if you don't play well on any given night, you could go home. But like, what is the ceiling for this group and what you could see them doing, whether it's at the Big Ten tournament in Minneapolis or in the NCAA tournament?
When they're dialed in defensively, which has been more at home than on the road by a long shot.
Yeah.
So that's the part where they're going to have to show they can do it away from PBA, but they really can play with, I wouldn't say anybody, but they did with Purdue, and if teams like close to the top 10, they on a given day, they can beat them when they're playing really good on the defensive end. So I think if the matchup is, fits well enough for Nebraska, they could win a game or two in the tournament. But I'm still I'll admit, Connor, I'm still a little bit in that, let's see them take care of this Sunday and kind of move that. I feel like I need that game to sort of make me feel really comfortable. And I've said this before. It's like I am one of those guys sometimes with certain teams where it's like, that's a nice bass boat you got there, but what if the bottom of it falls out and you fall through? How are we going to go fishing then? I'm sort of in that mindset sometimes. I feel like this team has earned the right to be confident that they're going to handle their business Sunday. But I think they've got to be dialed in right now on that specific game and treat it with the same intensity they did against Minnesota. Like that, you could tell from the opening tip, even though they didn't shoot the ball that well in that game, they were not going to have that game go sideways on their watch. And they need another inspired effort like that tomorrow, because Rutgers, although they're not, a great team and have a net of 90 and all that stuff, that they've kind of built a culture of toughness within that program, and they're going to come here thinking let's wreck their party. And it's going to be a night where Nebraska is going to have to manage their emotions well with senior night for some of the guys like Casey and Alec and all that. And so it is a little bit of a tricky deal that you just got to make sure you handle the right way. And I think if they do, then I'm feeling really good about all those other conversations. But it's just get that one, and then the double bye conversations on the table. Then the NCAA thing is really real, all that stuff. But handle Sunday first.
Football conversation here. Rule changes. How about this? This is a little bit different, where we'll have some communication in the helmets. We'll have a 2-minute warning, more strict rules on uniform violations. Very exciting stuff happening in college football, where I'm sure there'll be a column coming later from you on all of this stuff.
No, I missed what was the uniform violation one? What is you better have your shirt tucked in there good.
Here's what the NCAA website says. In recent years, the committee has expressed concerns about the look of players' uniforms, specifically pants. The committee is proposing a stronger enforcement structure for clear violations of the rule. On the first violation, a flag would be thrown to indicate a warning for illegal equipment, and the offending player would have to leave the game for at least a play and could return when the issue is corrected. And then if you violate it again, if they have deemed that you violated the rule again, they will make you burn a timeout. And if the team is out of timeouts, it would receive a 5-yard delay of game penalty. So we're cracking down on pants.
Wow. Are they getting too high? Is that the deal, or are they going too high above the knees?
I imagine so. Yeah, we see a lot of uncovered knees out there nowadays.
Yeah, that seems, who cares? But I mean, I do understand. Maybe there's like older guys like me, or like these gym shorts are creeping a little too high that dudes are wearing now, and like they're just like, let's keep it down by the knee. Because I was a kid of the '90s. But yeah, that seems weird. I do like the helmet communication rule. I know Matt Rule does too. He's talked about how ridiculous it is that everywhere else you go, like high school and stuff, they could have that type of technology. Yeah, college football, you couldn't. So that's good. I think the 2-minute warning, Trev Alberts has sold me on the case with that when I've heard him talk on how, when you think about early on in games, some of the TV timeouts were getting bunched up a lot at the beginning because they wanted to make sure they got those breaks in. And so the idea is, when you have that break always and you can count on it, maybe that'll stop from some of the clutter at the beginning of the game, which was really annoying, where it just stopped and started. It felt like you couldn't get any flow right off the start. So I hope that's what happens and it plays out well. It just seems like more and more the college and NFL are going to basically have the same rule book when it's all said and done.
Yeah, we're definitely trending that direction. Bryan Christopherson of Husker 24/7. All right, BC, we'll let you go. Enjoy your weekend, my friend, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Bryan Christopherson of Husker 24/7. Talking football, 2-minute warnings and rule changes, and pants. A
lot of pants talk.
Oh man, the stuff that they decide, the stuff that they decide to like look at, apparently many people have expressed concerns about the look of the players' uniforms, specifically pants.
Not a single person has brought that up.
No, you've never thought to yourself, Josh, I remember when they used to wear knee pads. And
I have thought that, yes.
They still kind of do, but they're just like, they're not protecting the knee anymore.
Every literally, not figuratively, literally, every time I watch a college football game, I go, man, seems like that they're not wearing shoulder pads anymore.
Yeah, I know. Now, see, the problem is I don't know what the rule is on the pants. Like, where do the pants have to end by rule? I don't know. But apparently the committee has talked about this. They've discussed it, and they've looked at our game, and they've said the pants are too high, or the pants are not up to our NCAA standard. So we would like to start enforcing violations. Remove the player from the game, fix your pants, and then you can come back later, and we'll give you an orange slice at halftime.
Now, Connor, BC laid out the Trev Alberts theory on the 2-minute warning. Do you think it will happen like that, or do you think the networks will go, ooh, extra TV timeout? Great. Love it.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more like that.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more the latter.
Sorry that Trev Alberts is living in a utopia where
TV doesn't exist.
Yeah, right.
Even though they're taking advantage from of TV and things like that every single day.
It exists to serve you, the viewer.
Hey,
it does not.
Like I said, they're in a good spot, Josh.
Yeah.
They are they're part of the Cool Kids Club.
They have the power. They are flexing it.
Yep. Nobody can take them away.
Yielding their power.
Wielding.
No, it's wielding. Dang, picked the wrong one again.
They're wield. You like a wheel. You wield a gun or like a sword or something like that. You wield it.
Wield.
You have it. Yeah. If you're yielding it, you're saying no, thank you. I'd like to yield my phone today.
That's right. That's right.
Here you go. That's yielding.
It's definitely not that. They are wielding their power.
One more note on the NCAA here. First down timing rules. After a year of review, the Division III committee members decided to adopt the timing rules where the game clock would continue to run when a first down gain is in bounds. The game clock would be stopped when a first down is gained in the last 2 minutes of either half. Divisions 1 and 2 used the timing rule this past season. So changes coming to Division 3 now. They've seen enough. They've said, this rule is fine. Let's do it. I haven't read this yet, but I'm going to go to this other category that says other proposals.
Ooh.
What do you think the other proposals that haven't been adopted yet are?
It could be literally anything. And I don't think it would surprise me.
Allowing conferences the option of using a collaborative replay review system. This would be formally added to the rules book. It has been an experimental rule. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, that's just a bunch of corporate jargon. Like, you didn't tell me anything.
Penalizing horse collar tackles that occur within the tackle box as a 15-yard personal foul. Currently, horse collar tackles within the tackle box is not a foul. I didn't even know that. Really?
A horse collar is a horse collar. Why does it matter where?
That's what I thought. I thought horse collars were horse collars. Did you know that horse collars weren't horse collars?
Poll question: is a horse collar a horse collar?
In the tackle box? Very weird. Permanently allowing head coaches to conduct interviews with broadcast partners after the first and third quarters. This was allowed on an oh, great.
Oh, so that's permanent now. Okay.
That's a proposal to be permanent.
It's permanent.
Apparently. Yes.
Follow the money, Connor.
Poll question up at Happer Show. Is a horse collar a horse collar? All right. Johnny Mills in on the pants rule.
Hi, John.
We need to worry less about how football pants are worn and start worrying about enforcing the mouthpiece rule. Almost none of the players wear mouthpieces. They just let it hang from their face mask. This is a safety issue, and they are allegedly serious about it. Yeah, I've noticed that as well. You ever seen a guy just with their face, with their mouthpiece just hanging off their helmet?
And then it's really funny when a guy's got two mouth guards.
I love
and
that.
They're both dangling.
Well, I'd love to have the one that's dangling off. You got to have the one that's dangling off, but I need to have one to actually put in my mouth.
I gotta talk to some of the guys at Iowa Western.
What's the deal with the mouthpieces?
Why are you doing that?
What's the deal with these mouthpieces?
But I don't want to sound like just like an old and be like, hey, what are the hell? How do you do, fellow kiddos?
I'll tell you this: as a person who knows what it looks like to look cool, you don't look cool with a mouthpiece in your mouth. You just don't.
It's hard.
It's hard. It's
really
very
hard.
difficult to look cool with a mouthpiece in your mouth.
I'm gonna say Steph Curry is like the exception that
He doesn't look cool.
That proves the rule when he's got
it hanging out,
half of it hanging out, and he's kind of chomping on it.
I don't think that.
I don't know,
cool.
but that's the coolest a guy looks with a mouth guard in.
Yeah,
right?
but it's not because of the mouth guard. It's just because he's cool.
Right.
That'd be like if
I
Elvis had a mouth guard.
Ooh. By the way, Austin Butler was in Dune 2 last night. I couldn't stop laughing. I can't stop being an alien.
What am I supposed to say? All right, Josh has the odd news coming up on 1620 The Zone.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620 The Zone.
So, Isabella, you're in high school earning college credits?
Tuition-free college credits.
Tuition-free? Your mom's got a...
Love that.
Hey, Maya, hold up. You'll graduate from high school.
But my college gen ed's knocked out. Tuition-free.
That's got to save you and your parents thousands in college tuition. How about you, Ian?
I'll be debt-free thanks to MCC.
Earn college credits while still in high school. Tuition-free. Get started at mccneb.edu/tuition-free. Classes start March 7th.
This is me at MCC.
Is your concrete cracked or uneven? Hey everyone, Coach Greg McDermott here to explain why you should choose Everlevel Concrete Repair. Many people think they need to replace broken concrete, but repairing it provides durable protection and comes at a fraction of the cost. Everlevel provides permanent repair solutions to fix your concrete and protect it against future damage, and it all comes with a long-term transferable warranty. They offer free inspections to walk you through the entire process. Call Everlevel Concrete Repair today.
42 Degrees is the only place to get premium e-juice and disposables.
You know that's right.
And this is the last weekend to buy one and get one half off. Premium disposables like Tyson's, Rodman, Geek Bar Pulse, and premium e-juice like Monster, Coastal Clouds, and Aqua are all buy one, get one half off. Or maybe buy 6 and get half off 6 more.
Oh, yeah.
It's the perfect time to stock up. 42 Degrees, your destination for top-tier cannabis, second-to-none product selection, and exceptional service. Buy your mom's house.
O'Reilly. You need parts? O'Reilly Auto Parts has parts. Need them fast? We've got fast. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
If you're having problems in the bedroom, talking about it is the last thing you want to do. Same goes for hair loss, anxiety, or even depression. That's where HIMS comes in. Through HIMS, you don't have to talk about it. You can do something about it. Just go to hims.com/start, where you can find a variety of potential solutions for the problems men face every day and save up to 95% on generic alternatives. The entire process is 100% online, making it incredibly simple, straightforward, and above all, private. If prescribed, treatments made using clinically proven ingredients are shipped directly to your door in low-key packaging. So if you're experiencing ED, hair loss, anxiety, or problems with your general health, you don't have to go to the doctor, the pharmacy, or spend all day talking about it. Just go to hims.com/start and do something about it. Get started today at hims.com/start. That's HIMS.com/START.
Unlock a world of possibilities with Special Olympics Nebraska. Our programs go beyond sports, empowering individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities of all ages through sports, health, education, and leadership initiatives. Experience a transformative impact of year-round opportunities designed to nurture growth and build self-confidence. From the thrill of competition to the joy of camaraderie, our inclusive community celebrates every achievement. Best of all, participation is absolutely free. Join us at SONE.org and discover how Special Olympics Nebraska is transforming lives one incredible moment at a time.
I'm Mary Neubauer with the Iowa Lottery. March is National Problem Gambling Awareness Month, when we highlight and remind Iowans that help is always available 24/7 here in our state.
And I'm Katie B. with the Iowa Department of Health and Human Services. Visit yourlifeiowa.org to learn more about problem gambling. Start the conversation today by text, live chat, or by calling 1-800-BETS-OFF.
It's free and confidential.
And it's something you can do anytime.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
Oh, wow.
Oh? What you got?
There's some signage up downtown welcoming basketball fans to Omaha for the big basketball tournament.
Oh, wow. It's happening. All our wildest dreams are coming true.
So you go downtown to watch Jays tomorrow play Marquette, which could be you. Hang on, listen to the show.
What?
And maybe you'll bump into Frank Caliendo.
Yeah.
Maybe you will see the signs that say, "Welcome. This is March."
You think they're hanging those signs up in Las Vegas? No, because there's no games there.
Probably not. Yeah.
But you could be.
Maybe they'll put up a sign that says, "Welcome, you, winner of contest."
Winner of contest. They could just leave that sign up probably year round, right?
Definitely. Welcome, Nick Grimm. And then it says the disc golf course is this way. All right. Josh, what's up?
Connor.
What's going on in the odd news today?
We begin the odd news with a guy who pops up in this segment quite frequently, Dan Orlovsky. We're going to make fun of Dan here, but he makes fun of himself, so it's okay. He said some peculiar things on ESPN from time to time, from his lack of seasoning takes to many, many other things. But yesterday, the UConn alum, that's important here, made a strange comment regarding his alma mater's women's basketball program. He told viewers on First Take not to take this the wrong way, but he went to his first women's basketball game earlier this week. Now that's not so odd.
No,
right? Like that.
Something they just can't make it. He's
Yeah.
a busy college football player.
Mhm. But then he followed it up with, hey, they can play, as if he had no idea whether or not UConn women's basketball was any good.
Now, did anybody press on this? Like, what don't you know about UConn women's basketball?
Well, Stephen A. took that to mean, took it as a chance to say, like, oh, yeah, Caitlin Clark is great, and who does not play for UConn, by the way. But
not at all. She is a woman who plays basketball.
Speaking about women's basketball as a whole, like, he hears women's basketball and he must, like, just takes. Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark.
But Molly, the fair and rational host of First Take, said, really, you're just finding this out about UConn women's basketball, Dan? You idiot.
Yeah. Thank you for calling him out.
She called him out, and rightfully so, because Dan, well, when was Dan on campus? You probably don't remember Dan Orlovsky's tenure at UConn.
I'm going to say like 04 to 08. Close?
01 to 05,
okay.
It looks like.
Okay.
Well, his time there overlapped with Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi when UConn went 132-12 and won 3 consecutive natties.
Yeah, that's good. It's good.
Oh, he also lives in Bristol.
He also
famously in Connecticut.
I mean, it would be impossible. Impossible. Even if you are a football player and you live in your own football world or you're not from there, to be in the UConn athletic department and not at least be aware of the present, just be aware of the idea that your basketball team, your women's basketball team, is extremely good. Much less win 3 national championships in his time there.
Now,
but my guy just gets zoned in, I guess. He just gets locked in on the prize.
Right. Singularly focused is Dan Orlovsky. After being pressed by Molly, his response was, Paige Beckers had 30 last night.
Whoa!
30.
30?
Now, I have not looked this up. I'm betting she's done that a lot this season.
Let's see.
I would say over her career, but she's often sidelined with injury. But she's a great player. She's a great player.
Let's look at the Paige Beckers game log for 2023.
Place we find ourselves often on this show.
I'm always on the game logs, Josh. So I'm going to count out each individual 30-point performance.
Okay.
Before, I assume he was talking about the other night. Yeah. So Paige Beckers had previously done this. 1, 2.
That seems like a long gap.
3, but the third one was 2 nights before, and then she did it again. She had 31 in that Villanova game.
Okay.
That Dan Orlovsky was at. So she's done it 4 times total the entire year.
Okay.
But she's routinely in the mid-20s. So, yeah, I mean, she's one of the best basketball players in the country.
That's right. That's right. Big changes coming to Philadelphia Phillies games this year. I'm not sure. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
No.
These animals in Philly could not handle something as simple as $1 hot dog night.
What do you mean? Will they start throwing them at people?
Yeah. So the Philadelphia Phillies have opted not to do a $1 hot dog night this year. The Phillies officially ended the popular promotion Thursday and replaced dollar dogs with a 2-for-1 deal at Citizens Bank Park. A statement from the team said the change was made, quote, based on the organization's ongoing commitment to provide a positive experience for all fans in attendance. Creighton, Philadelphia Phillies, handshake me.
Hey, imagine being so bad, such a bad fan base that your fan base could not handle dollar hot dogs because they were throwing them all over the place.
Some unruly Phillies fans began chucking their favorite Hatfield meat. That must be their brand of hot dogs up there.
Like Fairbury.
Yeah, during a game last year. And the dogs soared like cans of corn throughout the stands and onto the field. The demand for discount dogs also led to clogged lanes within the concourse at Citizens Bank Park.
Oh.
Which led to security and safety concerns. So the Phillies cannot handle dollar hot dogs.
Dollar hot dogs. Like if you have a lot of one thing and you're from Philadelphia, your natural God-given reaction is to just throw it. Right?
Animals.
It's just we have to throw this thing. It was kind of like me when I was 6. Oh, thanks for this knife. Throw it, you know. No, don't throw that. Thank you for this snow globe. No, Connor, don't throw that. It's not supposed to be thrown.
I could huck it though. I could.
It's something that can fit in my hand. It's time to throw. That's Philadelphia people. People from Philadelphia. Can't stop throwing stuff, just reflexively.
We end the odd news segment today in New Delhi, where doctors at a New Delhi hospital removed 39 coins and 37 magnets, not from an alligator's.
I was going to say,
stomach,
from an alligator?
but from a man's intestine after he swallowed the metals under the assumption that, quote, zinc helps in bodybuilding.
There it is.
X-rays taken before the surgery inside Sir Ganjaram Hospital show massive clots forming in the 26-year-old's intestines after he spent several weeks ingesting the coins while undergoing treatment for an undisclosed psychiatric condition. The patient, who was not publicly named, believed he could absorb zinc from the 39 coins he ate and thought eating the magnets would help him in that process. Doctors learned the extent of what he had done when he arrived at the ER with complaints about abdominal pain having gone on for more than 3 weeks.
He didn't care to mention at the time that he ate several quarters.
I feel like that might be one of the first first things.
Hey, Doc, I got some, I don't know, something's going on in my stomach. The next question they ask you is, well, have you done anything recently? Have you eaten anything bad? How long has this been going on?
Nope.
And the answer to that question should have been, yes, I've been eating coins for 3 weeks.
Coins and magnets.
You would have gotten right to the bottom of the story had you answered that question correctly. Instead, I'm sure the answer was, I can't really. I don't know.
I got nothing.
It's just weird. I mean,
look at my lats.
I guess I've been eating a lot of zinc. I've been trying to, get buff and trying to ingest a lot of zinc lately. How are you getting your zinc? Quarters. Of course, quarters.
Whatever the New Delhi equivalent of a quarter is.
Speaking of Delhi, last night I ate a whole bag of cold cuts.
Were you just waiting for the word deli to come?
I heard deli and I thought, man, I love cold cuts.
Cold cuts.
And
You're like Stephen A. Smith in women's basketball. Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, I kind of deli turkey. Yeah, so they have the box, and then there's like 3 individual bags of turkey inside of the thing.
I'm familiar.
I ate 1.5.
Was that a meal or a snack?
That was a snack.
Okay.
That was me sitting there watching hockey highlights and getting ready for Mac to come on SVP Sports Center.
Where's Greg? Hey, where's Greg?
I had to keep myself busy. Josh was at Dune this entire time.
I was eating popcorn and a box of Junior Mints that I snuck in.
Ugh. Junior Mints.
Runs has got a mint shake now, Connor.
Yeah, gross.
It's taken over.
They shouldn't. By the way, before we take a break here, I'd like to mention we don't do this very often, but we do have a very special birthday shout out today.
Nebraska?
Well, people text me all the time and they say, Connor, it's my birthday. Could you just give me a shout out on the show? Connor, it's my mom's birthday. Please give me a shout out on the show today.
Terrible precedent to set.
And today, but this one's important to me. Happy birthday, Nebraska.
There it is. Yeah.
March 1st, 1867. It is quite old. 157 years. Not older than most states, but, older than some.
I believe it's also Dr. Seuss's birthday today.
Oh, didn't he get canceled, though?
No, you can't cancel Dr. Seuss. Oh, I guess it's tomorrow.
You can't cancel Dr. Seuss?
Nope.
Are you sure?
I believe they've tried.
Oh, I thought I thought they successfully did it.
No. They were like, hey, look at these drawings. And everybody was like, no, it's Dr. Seuss. Shut up.
Is it time to cancel Dr. Seuss due to racist imagery? Voice of America News explores.
Voice of America News.
Voice of America News.
Interesting.
The canceled books include, And to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street, If I Ran the Zoo, McElligot's Pool, On Beyond Zebra, Scrambled Egg Super, and The Cat's Quizzer. Those books have all been canceled.
Those aren't the bangers, though.
No, they are not. My favorite, name your favorite Dr. We got to take a break, but what's your favorite Dr. Seuss book?
I am going to go with Yertle the Turtle.
I'm going with Marvin K. Mooney. Marvin K. Mooney, will you please go now?
Okay.
I love that one for some reason.
Special shout out to the Lorax. That's my guy.
Okay. And I love Cat in the Hat, the movie, of course, as we've talked about.
That's not a children's movie.
All right, coming up at the bottom of the hour, Frank Caliendo will join us in studio. We'll ask him his favorite Dr. Seuss movie. Also, stay tuned for your chance to win tickets to Creighton and Marquette tomorrow. Steve Sipple will join us in the 1 o'clock hour. Still plenty to come as we're halfway home on a Friday. The Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Creighton Sports Update. Tomorrow rounds out the home slate for Blue Jay men's basketball. Creighton hosts Marquette at 1:30 p.m. for their annual whiteout game. While this game is sold out, fans can tune into Fox for TV coverage, as well as 1620 The Zone, 1019 The Keg for play-by-play. For more information or to follow along on all things Creighton, visit gocreighton.com. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
When Cynthia came to TurboTax, she just launched her new side gig, a true crime podcast.
I'm a first-rate detective with a golden voice.
As her TurboTax expert, I made her second income count by guaranteeing 100% accurate filing and her maximum refund.
What did she do with that refund? Find out next week.
Switch to Intuit TurboTax and make your moves count. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Trees, are they all the same? Not at Lanahaw. Grown from a quality seed source, handcrafted in our local farms for generations, and acclimated to our tough Midwestern climate, Lanahaw's trees are different. Simply put, they're better. Much like our trees, we take great pride in being homegrown. Visit our garden center to find your next tree today. Rooted in quality, unmatched value. Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
When it comes to concrete repair, Everlevel has some serious game. Coach Greg McDermott here to coach you on why you should choose Everlevel Concrete Repair. They've got the fundamentals to fix your cracked and uneven concrete, and their products will give you the best defense against future damage. It's a fraction of the price compared to replacement, and their solutions come with a long-term transferable warranty. Working with Everlevel is a slam dunk. Call Everlevel Concrete Repair today for your free inspection.
Bring your family to Isla Del Mar, the best of Omaha choice for Mexican seafood. Isla Del Mar has an extensive menu that features made-from-scratch sauces, seasoned meats, seafood and sushi, authentic homemade recipes, and a variety of amazing drinks. Isla Del Mar is locally owned and family-operated. We invite your family to join ours for a unique culinary experience. Visit us at one of our two locations, 36th and Q on the Q Plaza, or at 133rd and Center next to Dave & Buster's. Take a trip to Isla Del Mar for the best Mexican food in Omaha.
It hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, I never smoked a cigarette. How in the hell did I get lung cancer?
I don't smoke. I've never smoked. So I started Googling. One word just kept coming up, like it was in bold and red, and it was radon.
Radon is the number 2 cause of lung cancer.
Well, you don't know if it's in your home. You got to test. You can't see it. You can't taste it. You can't smell it.
What's your level? Radon Defense Midwest can help. Visit radonradio.com for a special offer. That's radonradio.com.
There are currently emergency blood shortages, and the American Red Cross needs your help. Blood and platelet donations are needed now to alleviate the shortage and to make sure life-saving medical procedures aren't delayed. When fewer people donate blood, even small disruptions to the blood supply can be serious. Donors of all blood types, especially type O, as well as platelet donors, are needed now, so patients at hospitals across the region can receive critical medical care. Use the Red Cross Blood Donor app, visit redcrossblood.org, or call 1-800-RED-CROSS.
It's mulch better at Lanahaw. Planning to wake up your tired yard for spring? Make your landscape the envy of the neighborhood with mulch from Lanahaw's Garden Center, where quality is always a priority. Convenient pickup or delivery available. Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Little news out of Iowa. Our friends across the river. Okay. Remember that whole gambling investigation?
I do, yes.
Yeah, there was the whole criminal part of it, and obviously those athletes were forced to either take suspensions or, in some cases,
not play for Nebraska this year.
Not play for Nebraska this year. The state of Iowa has dismissed all charges in the sports gambling investigation. The state of Iowa, by and through the undersigned Assistant Story County Attorney, in the request that his matter be dismissed with prejudice and in support thereof, states the following. Well, there's a lot of statements here. I haven't got a chance to read through them all yet, but on February 27th, 2024, a few days ago, the defendant sent the undersigned a letter detailing newly discovered evidence obtained through an open records request to the Iowa Racing and Gaming Commission. Okay, this is a lot of mumbo jumbo to me. Either way, the sports gambling investigation in the state of Iowa is dropped. Bye-bye. Dismissed. See you later.
So that guy could have played for Nebraska.
Correct. I do. I mean, it's, Noah Shannon, the guys from Iowa State, they had to miss time because the schools were afraid to play him in fear that they were playing him at a time which they were going to be eventually ruled ineligible going back in time. That was a tough deal. And so I feel bad. I feel bad for the student athletes who had to miss a year of eligibility for this. With that being said, Aaron Eulis is, thinking about this from a Nebraska perspective, Aaron Eulis is back next year. I think they going on a couple, weeks and months now, they have expected him to be in the picture next year, given that this whole, investigation was going to get sorted out in that period of time. And it looks like it is sorted out. Is he available to play now is a question that I guess you could bring up if we're thinking about it from Nebraska basketball's perspective. I suppose, but he's kind of out of the picture, right? At the same time, Nebraska doesn't really have a point guard. I don't know that. I wonder if Nebraska will comment on any of this today.
Due to newly discovered evidence, the state no longer believes further prosecution in this matter is in the interests of justice. The defendant consents to dismissal of this case with costs assessed.
Yeah. Mumbo jumbo.
So
we'll keep an eye on that. I wonder what will happen with Eulis and Nebraska basketball and how that will be handled. It'd be interesting to introduce that piece into the puzzle at this point during the year when you're already so late. That's why my sense is that they wouldn't try and push it with that if indeed he was eligible and able to go, which it seems like. I think that would pretty much drop the entire deal. So my theory is that he would. Buzzer beater! No.
Oh,
sorry. Got a little sidetracked there. Catching the end of Sydney and Grand Island Central Catholic, a final in the Class C1 Girls State Tournament. Sydney's going to the final.
37-35 winners. GI had a shot at the end.
Couldn't quite get clear. What a battle.
There's a gold jacket on the court.
Of course there is. What a battle between those two, but it's going to be the 1 and 2 in the Class C1 final, in case anybody was interested.
Of course.
When we have live sports during our show, we take live sports during our show.
Yeah.
Those are the rules.
We don't care.
That's what we're doing. Speaking of girls basketball, Caitlin Clark declared for the WNBA draft yesterday.
Oh, what a great moment for her and her alone.
I mean, with Caitlin Clark, it is about other things. Always, because she carries a lot of that stuff with her. But if you go back to yesterday, you may bump into a tweet featuring Darren Rovell and what college athletes making money and what WNBA athletes making money. Now, did he delete this?
Oh, what a coward. Did he? Or does he just tweet that much that you can't find it?
Let's see. I'm back to 16 hours ago. I'm back to 19 hours ago. Okay, here we go. No, he did not delete it.
Okay, I was going to say, not really his style to delete it.
He said $800,000 at Iowa on what is essentially a salary, $80,000 in the WNBA.
Yep, State Farm's probably done with her.
Headline, Caitlin Clark chooses a $750,000 pay cut. to play in the WNBA. Rovell later, I wouldn't say this is a clarification of any means, but he did say, I wasn't talking about endorsements. Well, money is still money, Darren.
Yeah.
You still make the money.
It don't matter how it comes in, just that it comes in.
And if we want to get technical, she ain't making a salary at Iowa. She's not getting paid to play at all.
So it's still not a pay cut.
She's getting $0 to play at Iowa, but she's getting a lot of money to play at Iowa in endorsements. She's getting $80,000 or whatever it would be to play in the WNBA. She would get much more in endorsements. I don't understand what's so hard about this to get. But yeah, there we go. He also doubled, tripled, quadrupled down on all this.
Ooh.
He sent out a tweet yesterday. Peak viewership. This year's WNBA finals, 1.3 million. Last year's women's NCAA tournament final, which featured Caitlin Clark, 12.6 million. Now, Josh, you tell me, did last year's WNBA finals have Caitlin Clark in them?
Without looking, I can safely say no.
Okay.
No, it did not.
Okay. So it's such a weird comparison. It's such a dumb comparison because, I mean, clearly we've gotten to the point, who would be watching Iowa women's basketball if not for Caitlin Clark? Certainly not as many people, right? And so when she goes to the WNBA, she's going to have quite the following. She's also going to be playing with Aaliyah Boston, right? Who has has quite the following.
It's almost like Caitlin Clark moves the needle.
Yeah, it's almost like she does, right? And so I want to ask the question of like how much. Now I'm not going to pretend to know, the viewership numbers of the WNBA, but obviously the league needs a person like that.
Yeah, they're going to give her every opportunity to move the needle. The Indiana Fever are going to play every Sunday afternoon on ABC.
She'll have a bunch of opportunities. I'm excited to see what happens WNBA wise. I think she'll be, obviously, like from a basketball perspective, I think she'll be really good there. And then if she's good, what happens to the league? Just as what happened in college, what happened to women's college basketball during Caitlin Clark's period of being at Iowa?
Mm-hmm.
A lot. It wasn't just Caitlin Clark that it affected. I mean, if we're talking about the Caitlin Clark effect here, it wasn't just Caitlin Clark. It was other programs around the country, whether they ran into Caitlin Clark on the circuit or not. It's seeing, oh, look, we have stars, we have players that we can market and that our fan base enjoys. And I think the sport in general has risen during her time in college, and it's not completely unrelated to her, right? So what happens to the WNBA during the period of time in which she's a superstar in the WNBA? I don't know, but I'm curious to find out. I really am, because no doubt about it, Josh, you said it. It's almost like she draws a crowd.
Yeah,
she's a star. It's the way she plays.
She's going to be in the NBA All-Star Weekend, just like Sabrina was this.
It's
this
the
year.
method in which she gets her points.
Mm-hmm.
She is an entertaining basketball player to watch for a variety of different reasons. She's like Steph Curry in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's her sort of boisterousness on the floor. It's obviously the talent, and it also, she also becomes a polarizing figure because of the way that she acts and the way that she is, right? So like, not everybody loves Steph Curry. Some people are like, that mouthpiece, keep it in your mouth.
It's a mouthpiece. It goes in your mouth.
It goes in your mouth. You don't have to throw it all over the place.
Oh, yeah. Remember those times he threw his mouth guard?
For Caitlin Clark, it's like, hey, they're your arms. Why are they always up in the air? Why are they always going like this? Right? It's the same deal. She's a polarizing person to watch play basketball, and she's very interesting in the way she plays. So undoubtedly the WNBA is like, woo, sweet. I saw one of the players in the Fever last night tweet about how she's getting people hitting her up for season tickets for next year already and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's a real deal.
I'll be interested in a couple of things. I mean, Indiana Fever, they did not finish with the worst record in the WNBA, but won the lottery. Only finished 5 games out of the playoffs. So, like, can Caitlin Clark get you? Is her war in the WNBA 5? Like, maybe she can eke them into the playoffs the first year. Also,
I don't have any way of knowing that, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Is she going to change youth basketball for girls the way Steph Curry did for boy? I mean,
I think that's happened.
Every youth coach will tell you, oh yeah, all these kids think they're Steph Curry now, and they're in junior high games chucking it from as far as they possibly can. And I'll be interested.
Steph Curry did that.
Yeah, if I'll be interested if Caitlin Clark has that trickle down effect.
Caitlin Clark did that. Look, I didn't shoot it. Caitlin Clark made me shoot it.
Caitlin
from
Clark
half court.
It's gotta be like her.
Have you seen that spot on the court where she got her record-breaking points? I want the spot on the court like that for me.
I want to heave it just like that instead of shoot the ball.
Dan says on the text line,
"Hi Dan,
shoots like Steph, flops like LeBron,
complains like LeBron."
She's polarizing. she's pretty polarizing,
and that's okay. That's
it's totally fine.
Trust me, the WNBA doesn't care that she's polarizing.
Yeah, polarizing is good. The WNBA doesn't currently have anybody that's polarizing, right? Is Brittany Griner still in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was going to be the one.
Pretty polarizing.
That was the one.
For not really her fault, I guess, but
not for basketball reasons.
John emails in.
Hi, John.
Is it just me, or has anyone else heard just about enough of Caitlin Clark? Yeah, we don't need to talk about it every day, but obviously it's there was a question about whether she was going to come back to college or not. We talked about it with Sam McEwen a couple weeks ago, and he was like, look, man, some company out there is going to pay her $1 million to do an endorsement deal, assuming that she got, in conjunction with the WNBA. She needs to be in the WNBA. She doesn't have anything left to accomplish at college. She's left Iowa in a much better place. Like, I totally get it.
And for years now, I'll bet even close to a decade now, there's been a campaign from WNBA players within the WNBA to like, hey, these salaries are pathetic. Like, why is Brittany Griner polarizing? Because she had to go to Russia because she doesn't make enough money playing basketball in America. You put a microphone in front of Caitlin Clark and she says, hey, why do you guys not make much money here? They might make more money.
Well, you know what else is going to happen to her when she gets into the WNBA? People are going to take it. Basketball players are going to take it upon themselves to make sure that Caitlin Clark does not become Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. They are going to be vocal about how they don't like her antics and blah, 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 and this and that. And it'll create all this noise. Yeah. And like I said, polarizing. It's something that's very interesting for the WNBA. So it's good. Here's a text from this is from Jason, actually. Jason and Pender.
Hi, Jason.
Girl basketball dad here. We've taken our daughter to several Minnesota Lynx games, and I've attended a game in Phoenix just to watch the Mercury. I can only speak to those venues, but they draw very, very good crowds. Should they be playing in NBA arenas? Probably not, but they're an average of 7,000 to 8,000 a game. Clark going to Indiana and teaming with Aaliyah Boston will only grow the sport. Love the show, Jason Pender.
Caitlin Clark effect. Hey, the Indiana Fever were playing the Washington Mystics today, and it's the highest crowd the Mystics have ever drawn. Caitlin Clark effect.
Yep. It's going to keep happening. Yippee writes in.
Hi, Yippee.
Connor loves Caitlin Clark. Connor thinks Caitlin Clark is polarizing.
I think she's really fascinating.
Connor has an appreciation for Caitlin Clark, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should stop speaking in the third person probably, but yeah, I have lots of thoughts about Caitlin Clark. I've never had that many thoughts about a women's college basketball player before.
I'm very excited to see the Indiana Fever play the Las Vegas Aces, who are the defending WNBA champs. They have a great roster, but also they have Kelsey Plum. You could do, hey, old guard versus new guard.
She was the one smoking cigars, right? She loves smoking cigars.
Sure.
I think there's these pictures of her because she plays for Vegas.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's the one. She's smoking cigars all the time.
Or are you thinking of Aja Wilson?
No.
They don't look alike.
No. I know the difference on that one. That's for sure. So I'm interested to see what happens to the league and sort of the ever-evolving conversation surrounding Caitlin Clark. And then, of course, the from my personal standpoint, like Nebraska-Iowa women's basketball rivalry. Without her there, it becomes very fun. It becomes, because they'll still be good. They won't be that good, right? And then we still have in the next 3-4 weeks here, her going through the NCAA tournament And you know what's going to happen to them when they get to the NCAA tournament? They're going to get to the second weekend, and they're going to run into some trouble. And they're going to lose. They're not going to win the national championship. And people are going to pile on her. Iowa's not going to win the national championship. They might not even make the Final Four. People are going to pile on that.
Can't be the GOAT, because what do we love to do?
Oh, yeah.
What do we love to do? We love to build someone up and tear them down.
Do the rings conversation all day long. Yeah, so I'm interested. There's a lot there.
Iowa currently projected as a 2 seed.
I wonder why. Maybe they shouldn't lose a game on the road.
Creighton, the 6th seed in that same regional.
Oh, that would be fun. That would be fun. That would bring up some old fun memories.
It would.
Joel writes in on Twitter at Happer Show. No mention of Nebraska baseball's gritty comeback win yesterday. Consider it mentioned. Yeah,
we mentioned it earlier in the show.
Yeah, we got a lot
briefly.
We got a lot going on today, but yeah, that was a heck of a comeback in the 9th inning, and then basically taking an extra base to get that 6th run, and showed some. I've said it, and nothing has changed so far. I like the cut of that team's jib so far, and to get a serious win this weekend at a team that everybody holds in high regard, that'll do wonders for the old RPI. If we're talking about the Big Ten making the NCAA tournament and things like that.
I love that it's like the 2nd, 3rd weekend of the season. We're already talking about resume.
Well, I mean,
this is when you do it.
You're not going to get much help from the conference, as is tradition. So it's a lot about like 2, 3, 4 games where Nebraska or Maryland or Indiana play some really good teams in February and into the first weekend or so in March. And they got to grab a couple there. And then all of a sudden the conference has a completely different picture. Iowa's played some good teams down the stretch with their non-strike thrower, Brody Breck, which is great. So yeah, that was a giant win for them yesterday, and they'll try it again today. Creighton is in Texas this weekend. They'll play a couple of the service academies and Louisiana Tech, and then they'll be back home on Tuesday, and you'll be able to hear baseball on your radio starting on Tuesday. Okay. Plenty to still come on the Connor Happer Show. Of course, we'll talk about Creighton and Marquette. Little preview for that. Tyler Kolek injury cloud kind of hanging over this entire deal. Greg McDermott went on SportsCenter last night and with Scott Van Pelt, and I watched through hockey highlights to just watch this interview.
A lot of biscuits in the basket last night,
and you just watch because he's been a little bit of everywhere now. I know it's about his team and the players that he has on his team. They didn't ask any question about jobs or whatever. But okay. Thank you, Mac. Thanks for joining the show. Appreciate it. Can't wait to do it sometime again. Okay. Thanks, Scott. See you later. And then they're going into commercial break, and Scott Van Pelt belts this one out. You guys better lock that guy up and give him some dough because he is an awesome coach.
Oh, hello. SVP. Campaigning.
I'll just say that I happen to agree with that. Every bit of it.
Oh, yes.
Do you agree, Josh?
I would like to go on the record as saying I agree with Scott Van Pelt.
Another good take from Scott Van Pelt.
He's full of them.
Good job by him. But I was like, because he does these things, and we know what the environment is currently, and you're like, all right, is he going to say anything? Are they going to ask? What's the deal here? They didn't, but.
Because why else would he be on the show yesterday?
He had to bust that one out. That's for sure. Once again, for the record, I agree with you guys. Better lock that guy up and give him some dough because he is an awesome coach. He's an awesome coach.
What was his one big thing last night?
I stopped watching after the Mac interview.
Wow,
it was like an hour and a half long SportsCenter last night. They were signed up for the full 90.
Cooking.
Yeah, they were going for it. All right. So speaking of Creighton, they'll honor their 3 seniors tomorrow. They'll honor 3 seniors, not 4, 3 seniors. Ryan Kalkbrenner, Francisco Farabello, and Baylor Shireman. I would take caller 55, but that'd be a lot.
Oh, wow. I got things to do.
Ryan Kalkbrenner is one of the greatest Blue Jays of all time. He could be one of the most decorated Blue Jays of all time, just with NCAA tournament success. Caller number 11 to 402-951-1620. Right now, I got you a pair of tickies to Creighton and Marquette tomorrow at 1:30, courtesy of us here at 1620 The Zone. Caller number Ryan Kalkbrenner 11. right now. 402-951-1620 gets you into Creighton and Marquette tomorrow afternoon. We'll come back and hopefully we'll be joined by our friend Frank Caliendo next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on The Crossover.
We have the Valentino's ice cream.
Oh, he's going to defend it. This is wild. This is wild. This is so gross.
It's not unlike, now I wouldn't eat this regularly, but it's a little like if you threw it in the freezer.
But blended it first.
Yeah, probably a little blended, but...
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
More sunshine this afternoon, staying warm and breezy with the high today in Omaha of 62 degrees and southerly wind gusts possible up to 25 miles an hour. Mostly clear and pretty mild tonight, though breezy early. A low by tomorrow morning, 34 degrees. Mostly sunny, warm, and breezy with very high fire danger for your Saturday, a high tomorrow of 72. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV News Watch 7.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees. The Source. By your mom's house.
You know what mentality can help you with? Low energy, motivation, weight gain, muscle loss, fatigue, tired all the time, feeling anxious, moody, irritability, impatience, anxiety, and depression. Mentality can help you with their board-certified physicians and their testosterone treatments that can take care of you and get you back in the game. You can regain normal function and restore your ability to perform normally at all levels just by mentality. Set up an appointment today. Go to lowtusa.com. Get back in the game. Don't sit on the sidelines and let mentality lead the way.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-632-4056 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-632-4056. That's 800-632-4056. What do you have to lose? Call 800-632-4056. Again, 800-632-4056.
Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is your home for the big game. We're in the middle of the best time of the year of basketball season, with meaningful games every night, with 40 TVs and massive dual projectors. The games have never looked better. Pair that with their award-winning char-buffed wings and $7.99 Monday through Friday lunch specials. Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill has everything you need. 173rd and West Center Road, and for takeout, 162nd and Maple.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
The needs of modern businesses are always changing, but corporate cards haven't evolved in decades. Until now. Meet Ramp, the all-in-one finance platform that combines corporate cards with spend management software. Ramp is the only card designed to actually help your business spend less, not more. With Ramp, you can set custom controls to stop out-of-policy spend before it even happens. And Ramp software even does expense reports for you. No more manual entries, no more chasing receipts. And with best-in-class accounting integrations, you'll close your books in days, not weeks. Ramp gives you better insights and a real-time view of all company spend, so you can stay focused on the big picture and build a healthier business. Join over 15,000 businesses who have switched to Ramp and start saving an average of 5%. Modern finance runs on Ramp. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. That's ramp.com/sports.
Email unsportsmanlike conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Spring is in sight. Looking to wake up your yard this season? Make your neighbors green with envy with Lanahaw's wide selection of landscape supplies and homegrown plant material. Get a head start today. Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
All right, welcome back for the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you. We will have a special guest in studio here in just a couple minutes. Frank Caliendo on his way. Him and Josh will finally get to meet.
To meet my friend Frank.
Face to face, which is very, very exciting. And we'll just sit around and talk sports, just guys being dudes for a little while.
Guys being dudes.
And then Sipple will join us, and then we'll finish things out here on a Friday. Who was our winner of the Tickies, Josh?
Our winner of the Tickies was Kevin.
Congratulations to Kevin going to Creighton and Marquette tomorrow. The final home game for the Jays at the CHI Health Center this year. Not the final game, though, at the CHI Health Center this year. So we'll be having some NCAA tournament games. I do think it'll be now. Obviously, you have the Tyler Kolek injury thing, which is hanging over the entire deal. I'm with most of you who are saying I'm not expecting him to play tomorrow. Now the question is, how does Creighton kind of prepare for it? And that's what Mac will be asked this afternoon when he talks in front of the game. How do you prepare for the head of the snake, the guy who does everything? We have literally zero examples of Tyler Kolek not being in that lineup. I mean, they've had some changes and injuries throughout the season, but it's always the one constant and one consistent, and the guy that gets everything going for them in Kolek.
They're going to look very different
tomorrow. So I'm not trying to build in any sort of excuses here, but I am saying it makes the prep a little bit different. It makes the prep a little bit more confusing when he's not there. Just as it did, I mean, for Creighton when they knew that Providence was going to be without Bryce Hopkins for that first game because he got hurt in the game before, and it didn't, you knew that they were going to be without him, but you didn't know where they were going to go with it. You didn't know what they were going to do because they have to react sort of to something in the first day. And then you get that one game on film, and then you figure it out from there. So that cloud kind of hangs over the entire thing. Either way, I think it's it obviously would be a big win for Creighton, but I think it's more, Josh, I know we do a lot of talking about seeding and brackets and where you're going to be and what does that mean if you want to get up to the 3 line or the 4 line or whatever it might be. Like, it would be great, and I think it is important for Creighton to get the win tomorrow to add to their quote-unquote resume. But I do think most of the motivation for this comes from like an internal perspective, given that you played Marquette. It was a long time ago, more than 2 months ago now.
People forget.
When you played Marquette last time, you didn't play well, had a tough time executing on offense. You're a very different team than you were when you played up there right before New Year's. And, it'll be kind of this emotionally combustible situation. You want to get revenge on them. That's part of the reason why I've liked Creighton going into this one for a long time now.
You still got Seton Hall breathing down your neck in the Big East standings. We're talking about garden seating right there. Can they catch Marquette? They're 2 back. I guess.
Yeah, they can
split the tiebreaker
because Marquette will play UConn still.
Okay. So Marquette feasibly could go 0-2 down the stretch. Creighton,
indeed,
but at Villanova next week.
Yeah, that's no gimme. That's certainly no gimme for Creighton. That's for sure. So yeah, I mean, there's still some stuff to figure out with that. Marquette has 3 left. They Creighton on the road, UConn at home, and then Xavier on the road, which is no gimme. Although they've kind of sifted off a bit in recent days and weeks here. So
also, you want to win every game you play. Top 5 team coming in town, defend your house, senior night.
Yep, that whole thing. Now, Creighton will honor 3 of their seniors tomorrow afternoon. Ryan Kalkbrenner, who still has the option to return. Baylor Shireman, who does not. And Francisco Farabillo, who, does not, I don't think. I think he's been around a little bit too long now. Anyway, so you have that piece. But there's another senior on the team. He's not going to talk. He's not going to walk. That's Stephen Ashworth. Do we read into that? What does that mean? It could mean a variety of different things. But if I was you, I actually would read into that a little bit. That probably tells you a little bit about where Stephen Ashworth's brain is at going into the end of this season and then starting next season.
He's got a family to think about.
Yeah.
Like a literal family.
It's just a wife. It's not like he's got 6 kids. He's got a wife. That's all. He's just a married guy. But yeah, I mean, I think it does say something that he is not talking amongst the group tomorrow. So it probably says a little bit of something about his future, although he hasn't made that, official yet. I think that probably gives you a pretty good wink and a nudge about sort of where he's thinking about going forward.
I've heard he's going to grab the mic and do the Wolf of Wall Street thing. I'm not bleeping leaving.
I'm not bleeping leaving. So I think they'll be hungry, and I think Creighton will win tomorrow. Marquette's good enough either way, I think, without Kolek to be able to do it. But I just like the setup for them tomorrow. Senior day, whiteout. Should be fun.
Yeah, you liked their chances before the Kolek.
I did.
Illiteracy thing.
I did. And like I said, I think that throws a little bit of a wrench into it. Like,
yeah, you're definitely playing an unknown.
I certainly like them less without Kolek, obviously, but it makes it a little bit confusing in the prep.
Maybe they do that first 5 minutes like, oh my gosh, thing.
I don't know what to do
a lot this season.
Yeah, they do. They take a few minutes to sort of get into their stuff. That's for sure.
They're a lot like Bud Crawford in that way, where it's just, okay, I'm going to let you do your thing for the first 5 minutes.
Let's feel it out.
And then I got you.
What's going on here?
Hit the avalanche and it's over.
Hit the avalanche button. Hit it in the first half tomorrow. That'd be
great.
That
was great when they hit the avalanche against Seton Hall, and I was like, oh, okay.
I love a good Creighton avalanche. That's for sure. All right, so we'll take a quick time out here. On the other side, we'll be Josh, do we have any more further correspondence on this yet?
I believe we are close, yes.
Okay. That's good.
Sorry, trying to. Oh. Yeah, we're close.
Okay, John emails in on the Equitable Bank inbox.
Hi, John.
Email subject line, Frank. Will there be 2 longtime friends hugging when Frank gets to the studio?
I don't know if Frank's a hugger. Poll question: is Frank a hugger?
I don't think that has to be a poll question. I think we'll just figure it out.
Yeah, I think we can get a.
It will be like Bud
answer.
Crawford and Creighton in the first 4 minutes, just like feel it out. What's going on? What's going on here?
Why are you opening your arms for a handshake, sir? Oh, I don't know.
It's got a couple shows, the Funny Bone tonight and tomorrow, and I think we'll be there at Creighton and Marquette, so the stars will all be out.
That's right. Well, the Fox can do the big. All the luminaries are in attendance tonight.
That's exactly right. And then they show Frank Caliendo and just Frank Caliendo. Should be fun.
Local radio host Connor Happer. Hello.
I'll be there.
Hello.
I don't know if I'm worth making the reel though. All right, we'll come back with that. Sipple will still join. Plenty to come on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
Hey, Connor.
What's up?
So, you're getting an Auto Express Lane certificate in less than a year?
I need to put my career in the fast lane.
And Jenny, in just 5 months, you earned a veterinary assistant certificate?
It's kind of a pet project.
JC, is that
blood? Yeah, I'll be certified as a phlebotomy tech in just 5 months.
A positive, JC. Earn a career certificate in less than a year. Get started at mccneb.edu/adults. Classes start March 7th.
This is me at MCC.
Is your concrete cracked or uneven? Hey everyone, Coach Greg McDermott here to explain why you should choose Everlevel Concrete Repair. Many people think they need to replace broken concrete, but repairing it provides durable protection and comes at a fraction of the cost. Everlevel provides permanent repair solutions to fix your concrete and protect it against future damage, and it all comes with a long-term transferable warranty. They offer free inspections to walk you through the entire process. Call Everlevel Concrete Repair today.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Bring your family to Isla Del Mar, the best of Omaha choice for Mexican seafood. Isla Del Mar has an extensive menu that features made-from-scratch sauces, seasoned meats, seafood and sushi, authentic homemade recipes, and a variety of amazing drinks. Isla Del Mar is locally owned and family-operated. We invite your family to join ours for a unique culinary experience. Visit us at one of our 2 locations, 36th and Q on the Q Plaza, or at 133rd and Center next to Dave & Buster's. Take a trip to Isla Del Mar for the best Mexican food in Omaha.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
If you're having problems in the bedroom, talking about it is the last thing you want to do. Same goes for hair loss, anxiety, or even depression. That's where HIMS comes in. Through HIMS, you don't have to talk about it. You can do something about it. Just go to hims.com/start, where you can find a variety of potential solutions for the problems men face every day and save up to 95% on generic alternatives. The entire process is 100% online, making it incredibly simple, straightforward, and above all, private. If prescribed, treatments made using clinically proven ingredients are shipped directly to your door in low-key packaging. So if you're experiencing ED, hair loss, anxiety, or problems with your general health, you don't have to go to the doctor, the pharmacy, or spend all day talking about it. Just go to hims.com/start and do something about it. Get started today at hims.com/start. That's HIMS.com/START.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Did you know that radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer for non-smokers and that our region has some of the highest levels in the country? Radon Defense Midwest can test and fix your home. Visit radonradio.com for an exclusive offer for 1620 The Zone listeners. That's radonradio.com.
Woodhouse has got you covered for your next car, truck, or SUV. We're committed to making the car buying and owning experience better, thanks to our knowledgeable sales staff and factory certified technicians. You can discover our large inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles anytime at woodhouse.com, where we have made buying a car easier than ever. Whether you need a family hauling SUV, a car to take you around town, or a hard-working truck, Woodhouse has something for everyone.
All right, welcome back. More of the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. We are now joined by man of his word.
Yes, that's all I wanted to be.
Frank Caliendo, who joins us for the long-awaited appearance in the studio. Josh and Frank have now met face-to-face, which is great. A lot of texting back and forth.
Yeah, I thought Josh was Connor. That's how dumb I am. I didn't pay attention to who initially reached out, so I don't know.
Josh has got like 70 things going on.
Big-time talent can't arrange his own guests. You know that.
Yeah. I would have no idea.
I'm a big timer. All right, so you're here. You are of Omaha now. You've seen the sites.
Yeah, I've been to Omaha quite a few times. One time I actually did an event. I'm trying to think if it was here. I don't think it was here. I'm thinking Omaha because it was Warren Buffett. I did an event for Buffett at the Dairy Queen. No, I did a Buffett for Buffett, and he's like, it was funny because he's like, "You're the comedian? Here, hold my wallet. That's funny. That's funny. You holding my wallet." I'm like, apparently you have not paid attention to how much you paid me in this group. So
Warren has so many takes on what's funny.
Yeah. So so that was good. And I got to I told you guys I was trying to get to a Creighton practice. I got that worked out, and I actually went and watched film yesterday with the Creighton team. I talked with Coach Mack and stuff like that, and did nothing. Kalkbrenner's just sitting there, and it's just great. I at the top, I just was thinking about how he runs sometimes, and I was just thinking before he's tired. I think the first thing I said was like I was doing maybe a Bill Walton. There's Ryan Kalkbrenner. He's already played 45 minutes in a 40-minute game. How can you be out there? He split himself in two to play even more. The greatest time in the history of Western civilization, and take a look over there. And I was doing Barkley, tiny little Stephen Ashworth. Look at that guy, a tiny little man.
It's coming up in a couple of weeks. We'll be all over this.
Yeah. So, but it was pretty good. So we had fun doing that. The team was very receptive. I mean, I'd done stuff at like the Fiesta Bowl and stuff years ago.
Yeah.
And I was done doing anything for college student athletes. I was like, it just went so badly. It was
why does that happen? What
I don't know, because they're usually told by the coach they have to be there at the time.
Sure.
This was for it was Ohio State and it was Clemson, and Deshaun Watson didn't even take off his headphones when I was doing it.
No.
Turns out he's not making the best decisions in life anyways.
Facts.
So I feel better about it nowadays that it was, but it was just awful. And I didn't know what to do because I'm 50 now. At the time I was probably like 42 or something. You just don't feel like you identify with anybody at a certain point, especially young kids that go to Clemson. What?
Where's the connector?
Yeah, where I grew up in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Totally different life.
So you're sitting there in the locker room and the star quarterback's like not even paying attention.
No. It wasn't a locker room. It was like it was in a
meeting room.
Meeting room type of thing. And they had press there. So that was what was even worse. Is there was press there telling me that I'm not funny and stuff like that. I'm like, well, you try and do comedy for people half your age that don't want to be there, that the coach made, and the coach wasn't there because he was at some other kind of meeting.
Dabo.
So Dabo he was at somewhere, and then Urban did come, but didn't make it mandatory, Urban Meyer. So that was actually pretty good because if the coach is there, they're going to be on even better behavior kind of thing.
Of course.
But it was more kids, Midwestern kind of feeling kids that were like me growing up, So I had more to assimilate with.
And you're just like, guys, you got to understand this is not my audience.
Yeah. I mean, what do you say? And you want them to have fun, but you realize you take a look out there and you go, I'm doing like I should have done one of the things I didn't do was a Lou Holtz. I should have just called out there at the time. It was still out there talking. That probably would have crushed. But I was doing I was doing some Gruden and stuff like that. People were NFL stuff, and they didn't even care. They haven't gotten to that part yet. So because the South is
like really open up folder college football. Oh, that's
really what you have to do. That's what you have to do in that kind of situation. And I don't I know Nebraska's massive college football here, but I grew up in Wisconsin, went to University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee. So Badgers were there, but then, didn't really care as much for me. It was more Packers growing up, Packers-Bears rivalry, that type of stuff. So it would be more like here in Omaha, people got to go root for maybe the Chiefs or something or somebody nearby. So there's no team they care about as much the same way. I can't believe the amount of support Creighton has. And it's probably because they're good and they have a great program and all that kind of stuff. But you got people wearing the stuff,
everywhere,
talking about it, going everywhere. People on the plane when I was coming in, I live in Arizona. The people coming on the plane had Creighton gear. They were playing that night, crushing Seton Hall. But I mean, I'm pretty impressed. I mean,
so you walk in, and Marquette, and what they have, but you think about Creighton, and now you visit their campus and you see all their stuff. You're like, what is this?
I didn't know much about Creighton. I mean, I really didn't. I honestly, until a few years ago, didn't even know much about Creighton. Although I had a friend who played baseball in high school who got drafted. His brother actually was a catcher at Creighton.
Cool.
And I wasn't even. He came and played for a couple of years. I don't know if he ended up getting drafted and playing, but he was a good player, and I knew this was a good school, and, because of Marquette and the Jesuit kind of connection and stuff like that. So there was interesting stuff, but it's now I live in Arizona and I don't know what anything. I get on the plane in shorts and land and realize that is a problem.
Well, it can be depending on the day.
Yeah.
I think we're looking at like 70 tomorrow.
Yeah,
so.
I did that once, and it was do you remember what was the polar vortex?
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that when that was going through? I got off a plane at O'Hare in Chicago, and I'd come from Arizona, and I was convulsing. I forgot I didn't bring a jacket or anything. It was still 60 degrees in Arizona, but there was that dip of cold coming through the Midwest. And I was like, I'm a bigger idiot than I even thought.
We learned a new term this winter called the snow squall. Have you heard of the snow squall?
Oh, is that a wall? Is that a wall?
Mega intense period of snow for like a brief period of time, and then it ends. It dropped like what, a foot of snow on us in this very short
period of time?
Like
4 minutes.
It
was 4 minutes.
Stuff like that. It's a couple hours, but we get all the alerts on our
greatest snowfall in the history of Western civilization. They're in Westeros saying winter is coming.
Exactly.
How great is this?
Bill Walton in a snowstorm.
Unbelievable. It's like what my mind normally is. I have no idea what's happening, and I can't see my hand in front of me.
He would be amazed by a snowstorm.
Oh, yeah.
He would think it's the most wonderful thing of all time.
Where is the saguaro cacti? I don't even see them here. It's Omaha. Well, then where's the Wild Kingdom? Come on. The stakes are here. Get it out. Enjoy the bovine supremacy.
Your Bill Walton on ESPN next to Bill Walton just popped up for whatever reason on my timeline
because
today.
We're all being watched.
Yes.
Well, I think Frank sent it out.
I did. Yeah, because somebody sent it
you
to me.
retweeted it?
Somebody sent it to me, and I said a quote tweet for it. Yeah, because I was thinking about it. Well, after that, somebody sent it to me, and that probably popped up or somebody because of the talking to Creighton and stuff like that. So I don't think I had a. Sometimes I hate myself, but sometimes I come up with stuff, and I'm like, oh, that was pretty good. I was doing Barkley, the impression. I was talking about Kalkbrenner. Ryan Kalkbrenner looks like one of those balloon guys out front of a used car sales running. The arms and legs are not moving at the same time in the same direction, but somehow he still blocked a shot. That's crazy.
He's the wacky, wavy, inflatable arms man.
Yeah, he's the greatest.
We call him Tree Man. Yeah,
Tree Man.
We call him Tree Man.
He was. I've run into him a couple of times now. Actually, run under him.
Right, you go through him. Yeah.
So yeah. What'd
you say to the team? Was it motivational?
I was just goofing. No. I was just goofing around. But I love that championship center. Wow,
Super nice.
That's fantastic.
You still going to the game tomorrow?
Yeah. They're going to that tomorrow. Going to CHI to see my son. I actually liked it all so much that I flew my son into town to have him come. When you have the access to this kind of stuff and can enjoy and
see it.
It's just there's real great camaraderie, and there's coaches that are from the Wisconsin area and stuff too. So that was pretty cool, and kind of hit it off in that way. He had stuff to talk about. So I really liked it. I like them all. I don't think people know. A lot of times people think that we're West Coast. Phoenix is a very transient city. Nobody's from there. Like you're here,
Definitely.
everybody's pretty much from here.
Yep.
And that's grew up in the Milwaukee area. For me, very similar kind of thing. Everybody's from there. So, and my wife's from Cleveland area. Not even supposed to mention it, but so it's similar in those parts of the country. But then you go in something like Phoenix, and just tough to get used to that, where everybody's from somewhere else. And it's not just like Atlanta's like that too. Like nobody's sure who's from Atlanta.
Definitely. You go to Phoenix and it's evident, because what happens when you go to Phoenix, inevitably you'll see a whole bunch. This will happen on your flight back to Phoenix. There will be 9 people at least on the plane wearing Nebraska shirts that say "Go Big Red" on them.
Right.
Because what happens with Nebraskans when they leave, they love to represent the fact that they're from Nebraska or Creighton or whatever it might be.
Right.
And they're Nebraskans.
And that
are all
just
the
made me
place
realize, because we went to a thing and my son was wearing red, and it was like, that's why it was such a bad. Somebody said something about the red. I didn't even tie it into the Nebraska red thing. Okay.
Oh yeah. And they go down for spring training and whatever. So it's a big.
But it's also good that you wear the red, because when we go over there, that somebody will offer them free blue stuff. They'll be like, "Can you wear this?" Like somebody said that to me, like, "You wore the Creighton shirt today." I'm like, "Yeah, it's not my first rodeo." Like, your son doesn't have one. I'm like, "Yeah, but if I'd have given him something that you gave me yesterday and had him put it on, you'd assumed he already had stuff. Now he's going to get more free stuff."
We always want more free stuff. Yeah,
I usually don't, but it's my son, so I find it fun.
I went over there and we did a bit with the baseball team, and they all made fun of me because I had a red glove on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can't have a red glove here.
Yeah,
They didn't give me a free baseball
The
glove.
ball's always hitting the glove. That should be a good thing, right?
Yeah, just back in the glove.
Yeah.
So it's a big couple weeks and months for you. NFL draft.
Yeah.
And so people are going to start calling you and saying,
Yeah, can you do some Mel Kiper? Talking about
Kiper.
tremendous situation. Got Caleb Williams doing a tremendous job. It says he's not going to take all the physicals. It turns out he's only going to take one physical, and they're going to pass the same sheet around. Not even going to put it in the computer. Just one piece of paper. Use the mimeograph machine from 1975. They're not even using a Xerox. And at the end of the day, is Drake made a guy? I don't even sometimes why.
They even send him to the combine if they just decline every part of the combine. Kiper would have some takes on that, I'm sure. But we don't hear
what are we doing here? Everybody shows up but not doing anything. What kind of thing is this? And, I remember back in the day, you had to perform, you had to do everything. They did the physicals. They checked the vertical leap, a 40-yard dash, which has never been important in the history of the game of football. It doesn't matter how fast you can run in a pair of spandex that could break apart. That's happened before. At the end of the day, how fast can you run in pads and make a cut? This is really what's going to be.
And then we'll have the NCAA tournament with Chuck.
Who hasn't paid attention to anything.
That's the best part.
Right, because it's like everybody else.
He'll get on there, and he'll have all these takes about all these players who he's never seen before.
What is this guy shooting from the half court? Looks like he lives in a tree and makes cookies. What's his name? Stephen Ashworth, whatever. It's Stephen Ashworth. Shaq, I know who it is, but I'm tired of really trying to answer your questions. You didn't say anything, did you, that time? I didn't, Chuck. I didn't even say anything.
He never does.
No.
Shaq's just there hanging
I'm just
out.
wearing sunglasses in the studio again.
But it's great. It'll be he's wearing sunglasses. Nobody can tell, and the whole thing is a bit because they're just yelling.
They're
at each other.
fantastic, though. That's the best show, and that might be the best show on all of TV is watching the NBA and TNT guys.
It is. It's the only reason I'll stay. Like I'll stay up. I'll watch the late night NBA playoff game or whatever, and I was like, okay, I gotta watch these guys, and they're on until 1:00 in the morning.
See what they're gonna do, ripping each other to shreds. Yeah, that's the best.
They're killing each other. It's amazing. And then you'll have your guy like Stephen A. Smith. They'll be jumping in on.
I understand where I'm coming from. When I talked to the team, that went over really well. I have to say, because I did the thing where he gets serious and gets real quiet and whispery. I don't even understand what Marquette thinks they're gonna do against you guys. Should they even show up?
Listen, Tyler Kolek is a dear friend.
Yeah,
but
Tyler, I'd say that because I know how to pronounce his name. With a strain oblique. Have they decided if Kolek's playing or not?
It kind of doesn't seem like
there
it.
was some Milwaukee radio that was saying he wasn't, but then everybody was worried that it was just a facade. Like, that's so funny that
we can play games like that, man.
Yeah, it's absolutely gamesmanship. Gruden used to say it's gamesmanship, man. That's why they didn't cut the grass at Notre Dame, man. USC comes here, they don't cut the grass. Slow them down, man.
You just love sports, man. You're like me. You are of sports. I
grew up around it, so I don't even know as much current stuff as my son is. He's a savant and with stats and all kinds of stuff. But for me, it was just growing up and being around. I played baseball. My dad was a minor league baseball player before I was born in the White Sox organization. I went in the Kuiper cadence. Wasn't even trying to. So yeah, it was one of those. It's just that's what I grew up around. Some people in comedy have come up through theater and that type of stuff, but for me, it was sports stuff.
I just looked at our chat for the first time.
I was debating. I was like, can I ask him to do? Does he do requests?
So
it feels rude.
Well, one of the things that we're looking forward to, obviously, with the tournament, Barkley. So it looks like Nebraska is going to make the tournament this year. Charles Barkley is going to be amazed by a guy on Nebraska's team named Keisei Tominaga.
Keisei Tominaga?
He's going to pronounce it wrong. I can guarantee you that. Keisei
Tomagana? Queso Tomagana. I believe I had that at Chipotle the other day.
Queso Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi. Timu? They got him on Timu?
Super Bowl ads. Yeah.
Oh, I think I actually know who that guy is. Okay, so I think I know who he is because he's a shooter, right?
Oh, he's a shooter.
He's a gunner. Yeah.
He'll never stop shooting. He'll just keep shooting.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw a thing about him just recently. I some kind of bio or something on him or whatever, but I know who he is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so we got basketball fever around here, man, because both of those teams are going to make the NCAA tournament.
What's Nebraska's record?
20-9 now.
Really?
They just lost last night. Yeah, that's a good team.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it. Wisconsin started out so hot and then just fell apart. I don't even know what's going on there.
They beat Wisconsin a couple weeks ago at home, stormed the court, did the whole thing.
What are the Big Ten standings right now? Who's Purdue?
So you got Purdue, you got Illinois.
So Illinois is still up there. Okay.
And then, like Nebraska is right in that mix for third, fourth with like Northwestern and Michigan State.
Yeah, which is crazy. Michigan, Northwestern up there now, and Ohio State struggling, and Michigan not being good at all. I mean, it's amazing how that all comes together.
Nebraska's taking advantage of it. Okay, so you got 2 shows tonight or 2 shows tomorrow?
One show tonight, 2 tomorrow. It's pretty much. I think it's all sold out. We don't even have to mention it.
Well, I mean, you're here.
Yeah,
so.
that's it. I don't care. For next time, I'll be doing the Great American Comedy Festival, and is it where Johnny Carson's from?
What town is he from?
Yeah, and that's in like summer sometime. So I'll probably call you around then.
Just call it. Hang out anytime. Open line.
Or hey, I've got a take. I want to work this out.
Yeah, I got a take.
Sports take.
I have a take and don't suck. There's that.
Thank you for stopping by.
Absolutely, Caliendo keeping his word, and now he is out.
Rack him. Get him out of here. Frank Caliendo, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Enjoy the shows this weekend. Enjoy the game tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
We'll take a quick break and come back with more next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Hi, friends. Kent Pavelka courtside getting ready for this year's matchup between the Average Roofing Companies and the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. The Average Roofers are just that, average at best, not very impressive. The Rooferees, above and beyond the opponent, more dependable, service that exceeds the norm, good sportsmanship, fairness, and integrity. You know them, you love them, and they're ready to win for you. Make the right call with John Higgins Weather Guard. It's tip-off time with the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Make the right call!
It's mulch better at Lanahaw. Planning to wake up your tired yard for spring? Make your landscape the envy of the neighborhood with mulch from Lanahaw's Garden Center, where quality is always a priority. Convenient pickup or delivery available. Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
When you wake up well rested on a great mattress, everything becomes clear. My life coach has a terrible life. Things you missed when you were tired finally reveal themselves.
I use memes as a coping mechanism.
At Mattress Firm, we know the right mattress matters. While supplies last, save up to 50% on select Tempur-Adapt floor models. All with free and fast delivery. The right mattress matters. We'll find yours. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Hey, Omaha dog lovers, get ready for more wags and more fun. Hound HQ, your dog's favorite spot for daycare, boarding, and top-notch grooming, is now open. At Hound HQ, there's plenty of space for a pup to sleep, play, and everything in between. Plus, our expert groomers are here to ensure your furry family member always looks fabulous. Join our pack on Facebook and Instagram at The Hound HQ, or visit our website, thehoundhq.com, and sign up your dog today. Hound HQ, more wags, more fun.
Saturday, Senior Day, features a matchup of top 15 teams as the number 5 Marquette Golden Eagles visit the number 12 Creighton Blue Jays. Pre-game coverage begins Saturday at noon. Tip-off 1:30 on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg.
So, Isabella, you're in high school earning college credits?
Tuition-free college credits.
Tuition-free? Your mom's gotta...
Love that.
Hey, Maya, hold up. You'll graduate from high school.
But my college gen ed's knocked out. Tuition-free.
That's gotta save you and your parents thousands in college tuition. How about you, Ian?
I'll be debt-free thanks to MCC.
Earn college credits while still in high school. Tuition-free. Get started at mccneb.edu/tuition-free. Classes start March 7th.
This is me at MCC.
Howdy, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Say there's a lot to do this season in Nebraska's outdoors. There's always hiking in the state parks. There's bird watching. There's trout stream fishing action. There's scouting for that spring wild turkey hunting trip. And there's looking for shed deer antlers in your favorite woods. So there's no reason to be a couch potato, is there? No. Get outdoors and enjoy. Well, it's time to get all your new permits and stamps for hunting, fishing, fur harvesting, and state parks. Time to check your motorboat registration for renewal. Time to make those cabin and camping reservations in the state parks if you haven't done that already. And time to go over all of your outdoor gear for spring and summer. Get more information on Nebraska's outdoor scene by going to the Game and Parks website, outdoornebraska.gov. And that'll wrap it up. I'm Greg Wagner with Nebraska Game and Parks.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back for the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you. Steve Sipple will join us here coming up in just a moment. Thanks to Frank Caliendo, out of the goodness of his heart.
Yeah.
Stopping by. He didn't need to stop by. He didn't need to do any more promotion for his sold-out shows.
Sold-out shows at the Funny Bone?
I think he did it for you, Josh.
Well, I mean, that's what friends do for each other.
And you got the picture.
Got the picture. I'll definitely.
So now the people won't be mad at us. You know, all of our co-workers won't be mad at us for not doing. He did it. Look. I'll tweet this out in a second.
But maybe this has inspired you to. Maybe you go to Funny Bone's website. You look at who's coming to town, and you go see someone.
And he's coming back at some point too. So just when you get a text, you know.
Katie Nolan's boyfriend, fiance, is coming to town in April.
Who's that? I never know that. I'm not in the celebrity dating game, Josh.
Dan
Who's that?
Soder. Oh, you got to get in the dating game.
Who's Dan Soder?
He's a comedian.
Okay. See, I'm not in the comedy game apparently either.
Yeah. Nick Swardson.
Oh, I know Nick Swardson.
Him. Yeah.
I know Nick Swardson. He's been in stuff before.
Oh yeah, lots of names you'll recognize here.
Okay. So thank you to him for stopping by, and if you run into him at the Creighton game tomorrow, you know, you could tell him to do any of the impressions that he just did on our show. I'm sure he'd be happy to. You never know where to go. You never know what to ask. All right. Sipple's coming up here in just a couple minutes. This is a topic that I would like to broach with Stephen M. All right. So
good, because I really wasn't sure what we were going to talk to him about. Not that we need something.
A day in the life of Sipple is very interesting stuff
Right,
to me,
right.
and I would love to talk about that. And I'm sure there will be a portion of the segment that will be dedicated to that. But I do have something for him. Mitch brought it up in his most recent story on The Athletic, so I'll steal it from him.
Thanks, Mitch.
So they released that documentary. Nebraska football released that documentary. That's basically kind of day in the life-ish.
Oh, you mean the stuff Matt Rule said he wouldn't do anymore?
He did say that.
He said if I had my druthers, we wouldn't do that
I
again.
can't believe he said that.
Yeah.
Why did he say that? They're obviously going to do more of that stuff.
Yeah.
People just eat it up.
Like, I'm not calling him a liar. Like, you're allowed to change your mind, but he did say he didn't like doing it.
But you could be a liar too, and that's really not the worst thing in the world.
Not me saying that.
So they're doing that. It's a good watch. I skimmed it, I suppose. And one of the takeaways, I think, is Dylan Raiola's lack of presence. And I'm not trying to make this sound like, oh, are they trying to hide Dylan Raiola? Anything? No, they're not. I think it is a conscious effort for Nebraska. And we've talked about this before. Obviously, you have the quarterback that is worthy of all of the hype and all this, and he's going to show up. He's going to show up on Heisman odds and all this, whatever. Like, and I feel great about Nebraska's quarterback play going into next year. Certainly better than it was last year. But I do think it is a conscious effort by Nebraska to say, like, hey, we are a football program here. We are not based around one guy. That's not the only thing you should know about us. And it's maybe even a deeper, I guess, less conscious effort to say, we are not a quarterback-centric football program. Nebraska, for the last decade plus, has been a quarterback-centric football program. It has lived and died at the hands and the feet of the quarterback, right? If Adrian Martinez is going, Nebraska's okay. If Tommy Armstrong's going, Nebraska's okay. If Taylor Martinez is healthy and he doesn't have disgusting turf toe, Nebraska's going to be okay, right? But if he wasn't, then it really crumbles outside around him. And so Nebraska is trying to accomplish this thing where they can get the good quarterback play, but at the same time, not necessarily be that quarterback centric, quote unquote, program. What does Matt Rule always talk about? Hey, as long as I'm here, it doesn't matter if Tony White's here or if Tony White's not here. As long as I'm here, we're going to have a good defense. Nebraska's a defensive centric program right now, and they're going to have a top 10 defense in the country next year. But I think they quietly like a lot of the pieces that they've added and they built within the offense. Obviously, the quarterback piece is good. Now I feel like I'm in John Gruden cadence or in Mel Kiper cadence. I feel like they've done some good things.
Doing some good things, building a program real slow, but they'll get there.
You can
Been
have
there before, they'll be there again.
You can have much better quarterback play and not have that be. I know it'll be the focus of the media and it'll be the what everybody talks about because that's how they talk about football. But I think the idea is to sort of lessen the burden on his shoulders, get him comfortable, and then when he's there, you can kind of unleash the Kraken. And when he's kind of deserved it. So yeah, I think that's a real thing.
Get on the crack wagon.
I love it. I love it. I love the idea of Nebraska not having the quarterback to do every single thing, running, passing, catching, doing all the no. He's going to exist in the system and he'll be a point guard to spread it out. He'll get the accolades because of it if he's good. But also the burden of pressure is lessened when you have a good defense as well. And I think that's what the program is going to be about it. So we'll dive into that a little bit with Stephen M. Sipple, who will join us on the other side. What's going on with Sip is always a question.
I like a guest where you can just say, "What are you doing today?" And that's a good 3 to 5 minutes of the interview.
Me too. And I especially love it when it's simple. Next on 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley.
It's good life advice, if you just heard that.
Hey, it was that Sharp and Handley show. They were talking about rat tails coming back. Now they're talking, Dad, about hood rats.
Yeah. What's the difference, or are they the same thing? Tell me about a hood rat.
Oh, I can tell you, Nicholas. A rat tail and a hood rat are completely different.
They're mutually exclusive?
The end result is different.
1620 The Hood Rat.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10. On 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
More sunshine this afternoon, staying warm and breezy with the high today in Omaha of 62 degrees and southerly wind gusts possible up to 25 miles an hour. Mostly clear and pretty mild tonight, though breezy early. A low by tomorrow morning, 34 degrees. Mostly sunny, warm, and breezy with very high fire danger for your Saturday, a high tomorrow of 72. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV News Watch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620, The Zone.
If you're unhappy with your job or employer and you've hit a dead end, it's time to start your new career as a delivery driver with Host Coffee. Our local family-owned business is growing, and we now have openings for delivery drivers and other positions starting at $22 an hour with full benefits. If you're interested, visit hostcoffee.net/careers to connect with us.
Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
You know what mentality can help you with? Low energy, motivation, weight gain, muscle loss, fatigue, tired all the time, feeling anxious, moody, irritability, impatience, anxiety, and depression. Mentality can help you with their board-certified physicians and their testosterone treatments that can take care of you and get you back in the game. You can regain normal function and restore your ability to perform normally at all levels just by mentality. Set up an appointment today. Go to lowtusa.com. Get back in the game. Don't sit on the sidelines and let mentality lead the way.
I feel good.
Dad, are you singing to your cereal?
Yes, I am. Like I knew that I would.
No, a dance too?
Come on, Ava. Silk almond milk starts the morning on a high note. Yow!
Songs, dances, and dad jokes.
So good. So good. I got you.
Silk almond milk.
With calcium, vitamins A, D, and E.
Feel plenty good.
Spring is in sight. Looking to wake up your yard this season? Make your neighbors green with envy with Lanahaw's wide selection of landscape supplies and homegrown plant material. Get a head start today. Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
All right, so now's the time where we take a peek behind the curtains and let's go revisit our text messages with Stephen M. Sipple.
Okay.
I said, "Hey, Sip, we got a different thing going on tomorrow." I didn't tell him about Frank Caliendo. I never tell the guests why they're getting bumped.
Okay.
I just tell them that they're getting bumped.
Probably a smart thing
You know,
to do.
I could have in this case said like, "Hey, we have somebody who could only make one time work, so we're gonna have to move you around." But I said, "Might have to move you up tomorrow or just punt. Does any time other than 12:30 work for you tomorrow?" There's an update to this, which I have just received.
Oh, okay.
Does any time other than 12:30 work for you? And I've found that that's not a great strategy either. You're just better off giving them the time.
Yeah.
Right? Just say, "Does this work?" Right? And he said, "Name a time." And I said, "You know what? Let's do about 1:15, 1:20. And his response to that was, "That is perfect."
Perfect. Okay.
As you've noticed, Steve Sipple is not on the show right now, and I've just received a text from him that said 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Now, in 5 minutes, we're only going to have about 5 minutes in 5 minutes. So
5 minutes and 5 minutes. I follow.
5 minutes and 5. So call him in 5 minutes at 1:25.
Okay.
And we'll see exactly what the deal is with our good friend Stephen M. Sipple. All right. What are we going back to from earlier today then? Because that's basically the options that we have at the moment.
The big college football changes.
Oh, the pants?
The game is changing for the better or the worse, Connor.
You want to talk about 2-minute warnings? That's the story?
Not really, but I think that's maybe the thing our audience probably wants.
The easiest one?
Our takes on, yeah.
Oh, maybe that people wanted more Nebraska baseball in the conversation. But I don't know how many more ways I could say that they're good. And I like them. And that Creighton will beat Marquette tomorrow and Tyler Kolek will or will not play. Or that Scott Van Pelt has takes on Greg McDermott. So yeah, maybe you're right. The rule proposals. So we mentioned the uniforms part, and we made a big joke out of that. But also the 2-minute warning, that was something that we didn't necessarily get into. So the committee proposed adding an automatic timeout when 2 minutes remain in the second and fourth quarters. The recommendation synchronizes all timing rules such as 10-second runoffs and stopping the clock when a first down is gained bounds, which coincides with the 2-minute timeout. The 2-minute timeout will allow all end of half and end of game timing rules to be simplified with a sync up with this timeout. Steve Shaw, the secretary rules editor, said this will also help broadcast partners avoid back-to-back media timeouts. Now, one of the things that is underlying the surface here is that the 2-minute warning does trigger an automatic media timeout. So it doesn't mean any more or any less timeouts. It just means that we can synchronize one straight into it, which is good. But remember, it's all about the TV product. On the football service, it does make some sense, though. We're joined now on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline by someone who called us, Stephen M. Sipple, HuskerOnline.com. Sipple, good afternoon. How are you?
Oh, I felt terrible. I was on the phone when you called, so
It's okay. Who were you on the phone with? Was it Lance Leipold?
No, I don't mind telling you. I was catching up with Bill Moose. Just catch up. He wouldn't mind me sharing that. He's in the middle of a book. He's writing a book, so sometimes he calls and just has some, questions about maybe stuff that happened if he remembers it right, like that sort of thing. It's not just a book about Nebraska; it's a book about his career.
That is the best thing you could have possibly said when I asked who were you on the phone with. That's amazing.
It could have been more amazing than Bill Moose, I think. But yeah, I mean, it's good to catch up with Moose.
It is great. It's great. I wonder often about how he's doing, and so I'm glad that he's doing well. It seems.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's on his ranch. He is literally writing a book. He's written 250 pages. He has a publisher. He is. It's serious, and it's interesting. I mean, believe me, it's not just tripe. It's he's got some stories now.
Okay, so there's going to be some stuff in there, Sipple, right? Like about his time at Nebraska.
Oh God, there'll be. Let's put it this way: when his book comes out, it'll be news in Nebraska. There'll be news. There'll be a couple of things out of that book that will have to be addressed.
So how many times can you retell the story of cheesesteaks in Philadelphia?
Yeah, there's that. But yeah, he was here during an interesting period, and there's a lot. He's an interesting guy. He's an interesting guy. He's one of the funniest guys I've ever been around. It was almost hard to cover him at times because it would just devolve into just a lot of howling laughter. But anyway, he's literally on the ranch writing a book right now.
I am very much looking forward to this. Is there any targeted release date that he has? Is he close to being done? Where are we at? I'm interested.
I think he wants to be done for the start of the football season.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Something to talk about at the College World Series shows, which I'm sure you'll be doing a lot of.
I don't know. I didn't do any last year. I don't think.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like did my schedule change or something?
I don't know what happened last summer. I think we had it all covered. We just kind of covered them up last summer, which was good.
Yeah. So how are things going there?
They're good. We just had Frank Caliendo in the studio, and
oh God, I saw that on the promos, which that's why I tweeted out the promo. God, I missed it. Okay, well I can go back and listen to that. Yeah, I will listen. How did that go?
It was great. He did a lot of good impressions. I had this idea that was floating around in my head that we would play him some audio of you, and then he would do a you impression. But it didn't end up coming to fruition because our time got shortened a little bit.
Just as well. So who did he do impressions of?
He's got Bill Walton. He's got Barkley. Ripped into some Gruden, some Jim Rome at the end.
I'm definitely listening to that. That's got to be incredible. He does Rome.
Oh yeah, he does. It's really good Rome too. Yeah, so he went over and spoke to the Creighton team today and did some Stephen A. Smith and Barkley takes about the Creighton players, which it sounds like they enjoyed.
Oh, that guy is ridiculously talented. God, Happer, that's good. I will listen to it.
It was fun. It all happened because Josh's budding friendship with him, which is really nice. Josh and him are on texting terms.
Oh my God. This is all too much for me to handle right now.
You can hang up and go listen. No, we want to keep you for another 5 minutes or so here.
Yeah.
Thoughts on basketball as they head into what's basically it's postseason time right now. They get a chance to do something that's never been done. Do you still think that, or where are you at with this group after the loss last night?
Absolutely, still think that. I'm struck by how kind of fans are really taking this loss in stride, which I think is maybe a sign of maturity on the fans' part. Oh, that's really condescending for me to say that, but I don't think anybody's too rattled by the loss. I'm surprised by it. I thought even if Ohio State had Thornton, that Nebraska would win the game. I like their chances a lot. So I was surprised last night that they weren't able to get over the hump in the second half. Ohio State's played well, obviously. Hold on a second. Come on, boy. Since Holtman's firing. But I still thought Nebraska was the better team. And whenever the better team loses, I'm always a little struck by it. I still think Nebraska's a better team. I think that, they get we'll call it a luxury or maybe the good fortune of having Rutgers coming in on Sunday at 5:30, and that, how it is at that place. It's going to be, it was super loud against Minnesota. I imagine it'll be super loud again, and I imagine that Rutgers won't score 50.
Right.
And I imagine that Nebraska will eclipse 50 with about 15 minutes to go and win by 20 plus. So
Yeah.
it's a good the schedule set up good for them.
Yeah, I think the thing that kind of strikes me, I guess, is prior to last night, although they got it going a little bit, but it happens especially when they play at home. Just they have this kind of swagger, and what sort of tipped me off in my memory of thinking about this was you talking about how they play when they get in front of their home crowd, and there always used to be this kind of, and it still exists, this kind of nervous energy surrounding the team that like the bottom is going to drop out at any moment. And I think part of the fan base is, like you said, maturity of taking the loss okay last night was that they are still good and they have this sort of, they got this swagger about them right now. Like I still feel like that carries on with them.
I do too. I don't think it'll just go away, especially profound at home. If I'm just staying with a sort of negative slant, and it's not overly negative, but I think this team will know this. Will always regard this team as one that was, I was going to say, elite at home. I mean, they're an elite team at home. They're just not very good on the road. That's the way it is. There's nothing really it can do now to overcome that. I guess technically you'd be playing away if you won the Big Ten tournament. That would help, and I guess they'd erase a lot of that if they won the Big Ten tournament and won in the NCAA tournament. But as it is right now, that's how we'll remember them.
Steve Sip, yeah.
Winning again, I got to do anything to do that. That was sort of the disappointment. But I still believe they're a team that can do damage at the Big Ten tournament and the NCAA tournament. There's nothing that would dissuade my thinking on that happened last night.
I agree with you completely. Steve Sipple of Husker Online is with us. I wanted to ask you, we were sort of ruminating a little bit on this topic before we brought you on. But in the center focus, obviously, as we head into spring ball, will be Dylan Raiola from the outsider perspective. And they released the documentary, the kind of day in the life stuff, and Dylan wasn't really in there much. And I think Rule has talked about this a little bit before, and where their program is going to be kind of focused. And he wants a defensive oriented team, right? But I feel like there's a conscious effort to kind of like pump the brakes a little bit on now you're only going to be able to control so much on the Dylan Raiola kind of hype train. Like, how have you felt about the way that they sort of, I don't know, portray him, I guess, to the public as we kind of start going down this road of where we're actually going to play football? I feel like it's a little bit of an effort to say, hey, there's more guys that matter in our program.
I don't know. Maybe I need to pay closer attention, but there just haven't been many opportunities even to play.
Definitely, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think they have they want it. They don't want it to be a quarterback centric program. And I'm not even talking about from personalities, like from a football standpoint. I think this has been you know it. It's been a quarterback centric program for a long time, and they can get good quarterback play without having him be everything in your program.
Oh my God, that's a good point, Happer. I hadn't even really thought of it that way, but the fact that it is a defensive-oriented program now probably works in all the quarterbacks' favor. Dylan Raiola and Heinrich Haarberg, Daniel Kalen, all of them. I guess I really hadn't thought of it in those terms. I haven't given much thought to the topic that you raised about Dylan, because there hasn't just been much to discuss at this point. They're in winter conditioning. Everybody's in winter conditioning across the country. It's not overly unique. I think we try to make it unique. It's really not.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So Dylan is just doing what guys do, and I think everything I've heard suggests that he's come in with a good attitude. But yeah, I don't need the head coach to say that right now. What's it mean? Doesn't really mean much.
Right.
But I think what you said is exactly right. It's not going to be it won't be a quarterback centric program. Now it'll become a little bit more quarterback centric if he's in the Heisman Trophy hunt.
Correct. Yeah.
Hey, hold on a second. Cat, hold on. Chloe, come on. Cat got out. Inside cat. Get the hell in it. I was holding the door open, and we have an inside cat that got out. So no problem. So yeah, that's a good. No, you make a great point, Happer.
Thank you.
But no, I'm not. We'll see what it's like in the spring, and the conversation might evolve a little bit come spring game time, right?
Yeah.
You know, we'll see what that all looks like. But I think there is a head coach over there that can handle that part of it. Kind of temper that as much as he can. We'll see how it works.
All right, Sipple. Well, get everybody back in where they need to be, back in their cages, back in their houses. Are we good over there?
Yeah, Chloe's an inside cat. She would last about 15 minutes in the wild, so it's always a freak show when she sneaks out. I don't know even why she does it. She always takes about 4 steps out and realizes, oh, this is not for me, and then heads back in.
Yeah.
If it was my responsibility for Chloe being eaten by a fox or something, I'd never live it down, okay?
Tell Chloe that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Just stay in that house.
I will tell her. I'll tell her exactly that, okay?
All right. Bye, Sipple. Thank you.
See you.
Look, Connor, I don't want to be prisoner of the moment here. That might have been the best Sipple interview you've ever done.
Cat got out. Twice.
You got the huge reveal of the Moose book.
I know.
I don't think he understands what he told us.
No, like,
he knows it'll be a big deal when the book prints.
Yeah, that book will have some momentum around here, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Chris Redson.
Hi, Chris.
Cat got out. Has to be in the new Sipple intro for the show. Mustache Adam writes in.
Hi, Mustache.
Get the hell inside, Cat. Is an all-timer from Sipple. Absolutely amazing.
It was great before the cat got out. And, Frank Caliendo.
He's obsessed apparently with Frank Caliendo.
He's incredibly talented.
I got to go back and listen to that right now. He does our Jim Rome.
He was doing Romy.
Doc writes in.
Hi, Doc. What's up, Doc?
Sip yelling at his cat is the highlight of this interview. It's hard to say. Was it that? Was it the revelation that Bill Moose is writing a book? Or was it his affection of Frank Caliendo, who's incredibly talented?
Hurtin' Husker fan writes on Twitter, the cat's name being Chloe seems very Sipple.
I'd never live it down if that cat got eaten by a fox. I'd never live it down.
That's an all-timer.
Yep. Thank you, Sipple. Appreciate it.
Happy New Year.
We'll be back with more. We will finish out the show with poll questions, and we'll tell you what to watch on 1620 The Zone.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620 The Zone.
Woodhouse has got you covered for your next car, truck, or SUV. We are committed to making the car buying and owning experience better, thanks to our knowledgeable sales staff and factory certified technicians. You can discover our large inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles anytime at woodhouse.com, where we have made buying a car easier than ever. Whether you need a family hauling SUV, a car to take you around town, or a hard-working truck, Woodhouse has something for everyone.
Every Friday, we bring you discounts to some of your favorite businesses in the Metro. The thing is, 1 week just isn't enough. Welcome to OmahaWeekendDeals.com. This weekend's deal is to 72 Table and Tap, just south of Ralston Arena. 72 Table and Tap hits the spot for creative food, craft beer, and great Irish whiskey every time. Stop in after the game, a concert, or just because. 72 Table and Tap. Eat, drink, gather, and repeat. Head to OmahaWeekendDeals.com to get yours. That's OmahaWeekendDeals.com.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
The needs of modern businesses are always changing, but corporate cards haven't evolved in decades. Until now. Meet Ramp, the all-in-one finance platform that combines corporate cards with spend management software. Ramp is the only card designed to actually help your business spend less, not more. With Ramp, you can set custom controls to stop out-of-policy spend before it even happens. And Ramp software even does expense reports for you. No more manual entries, no more chasing receipts. And with best-in-class accounting integrations, you'll close your books in days, not weeks. Ramp gives you better insights and a real-time view of all company spend. so you can stay focused on the big picture and build a healthier business. Join over 15,000 businesses who have switched to Ramp and start saving an average of 5%. Modern finance runs on Ramp. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. That's ramp.com/sports.
It hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, I never smoked a cigarette. How in the hell did I get lung cancer?
I don't smoke. I've never smoked. So I started Googling. One word just kept coming up, like it was in bold and red, and it was radon.
Radon is the number 2 cause of lung cancer.
Well, you don't know if it's in your home. You got to test. You can't see it. You can't taste it. You can't smell it.
What's your level? Radon Defense Midwest can help. Visit radonradio.com for a special offer. That's radonradio.com.
Email any of our shows anytime into the Equitable Bank inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally. For me, John at 1620thezone.com. The Equitable Bank inbox from 1620 The Zone.
Saturday, Senior Day, features a matchup of top 15 teams as the number 5 Marquette Golden Eagles visit the number 12 Creighton Blue Jays. Pre-game coverage begins Saturday at noon. Tip-off 1:30 on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg.
John emails in on the Equitable Bank inbox.
Hi, John.
Until Sip said they had an inside cat, I thought he was trying to herd his chickens.
There was noise in the background. I just assumed it was a TV.
So we know this. I don't even know if he could tell you the answer to this, but we should do a count one day because he has at least 2 chickens just at all times.
Okay.
You know, they come and go. And he definitely has a dog.
Uh-huh.
Bullet, right? I didn't know he had the cat until today. The man lives in a zoo. He runs a zoo. And each of them have specific wants and needs.
Ooh, how about a graphic I cook up after the show? It's a movie
Sip,
poster.
We bought a zoo?
We bought a zoo, and it's got Sipple's face.
Yeah. Yep. Done. It's made itself, basically. Aaron emails in.
Hi, Aaron.
Why didn't you get Caliendo to do Sipple? Sipple yelled at his dog earlier this week. Next week, it's going to be a bird. I'm telling you, though, like that was the funniest part, but the best part was him telling us that Bill Moose is writing a book.
Oh, that was amazing.
The best possible thing he could have said. And he goes, no, it wasn't the best possible thing I could have said, Happer. Come on.
No, it was. It was.
No, it was. Still checking out the now we're in the Class B girls state semifinals. Gretna East making their appearance in the semifinal, their first appearance in the semifinal after their first state tournament win yesterday against a tough Scott squad. Of course, Gretna East coached by Weekday Wade Coulter.
He's coaching. He's not just on the sideline. He is actively getting after him.
So Weekday Wade, we call him Weekday. If you ever wondered about the Weekday Wade bit, he's an aspiring basketball coach, and for a while he lived in Columbus, but he got a coaching job in Lincoln for Lincoln Lutheran, and he took them to the state tournament too, by the way. And for that period of time, he was living in just only during the week, hence the Weekday Wade, in Mike Schaefer's basement. And then we called Weekday Wade. We'd go over to Schaefer's house sometimes. He'd just be there. He loves the Suns, and he loves wrestling.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep. Went over there one time, and a friend that we brought did not like wrestling and made it very apparent that he didn't like wrestling, and it was very awkward and tense.
They love to let you know.
Yeah, it was very, very funny. Very funny. One more from John. Sip apparently also has a fox. No, I think he's talking about the neighborhood foxes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You gotta be aware of the neighborhood foxes.
Prowlers.
Okay, to the poll questions at Happer Show on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Here's what we had for you today. Would you change doctors if your doctor was Mr. Lunardi?
I don't think I would. That's not enough.
Change doctors, probably. 59% say yes, they would change doctors.
Got to find your chart and everything, fax it over. No, thank you.
Do you love a good ecosystem?
Most voted on poll question of the day.
Absolutely.
I do.
88% say yes. Do you love the bugs?
Not at all.
You gotta love the bugs. It's all part of the good ecosystem.
That's a bad take by you.
77% say no. Is a horse collar a horse collar?
Yeah.
In the tackle box.
It's not, apparently.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
And now it
will
is. Yes. 70% say yes. Would Elvis look cool with a mouth guard? I don't think anybody really pulls it off that
No.
well. No. 71% say no. And that's it. That's what we got for you today. Josh, what are we watching?
We are watching 7 NBA games on national television this weekend. I'll highlight the big ones. Nuggets at the Lakers Saturday night on ABC. Warriors Celtics Sunday afternoon on ABC. And your nightcap on Sunday on ESPN. Thunder at the Suns. Kind of an interesting one there out west. NHL 2 games on this weekend. Panthers Red Wings 2 o'clock tomorrow on ABC. And then 2:30 Sunday on TNT, it is the New Jersey Devils.
Watch out for them Devil now.
And the Los Angeles Kings. College basketball. 1:30 tip tomorrow on Big Fox for number 5 Marquette at number 12 Creighton. Our coverage begins right here on 1620 The Zone at 11 a.m. John Bishop will take you inside the arena at 1. Does that sound right? 2
That
hour
sounds
pregame?
right.
That's a special show.
What? No, it's a 1:30 tip.
1:30 tip. So John will take you in at 1.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's a half hour pregame. That's a half hour John show.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. The shoot around.
Oh, the shoot around.
The shoot around is long.
Yes, the shoot around is long.
Special edition. It's senior day. Number 24, Florida at number 18, South Carolina, 11 a.m. tomorrow on ESPN. Kansas and Baylor hooking up tomorrow at noon on ABC. Iowa Northwestern, 4:30 Saturday on BTN. Interesting one out west, 9 o'clock Saturday. Number 23, Gonzaga at number 17, St. Mary's. Gonzaga passed the test yesterday. Can they do it
Barely.
again? Yeah.
Barely.
20 points?
Well, it was close with like 10 minutes left,
Okay.
wasn't it? It was.
They must have poured it on late.
I was mildly paying attention to that last night.
That one's on ESPN. And, of
And
course,
they won by 18. How dare you?
18, sorry. BTN 5:30. They love that. Nebraska loves the 5:30 Sunday game on BTN. Nebraska hosts Rutgers.
Let me tell you something about what happened here in this Gonzaga San Francisco game.
Oh, okay.
Gonzaga, starting with 2 minutes left in the first, or 1 minute left in the first half, and ending with 12 minutes left in the second half.
That's about an 8 or 9 minute run.
Went on a 30-4 run.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it.
So I checked before that.
Okay. Of course, you have the girls' state championship game all day Saturday on Nebraska Public Media. They do a great job there. Women's basketball, Tennessee at number 1, South Carolina, 11 a.m. Sunday on ESPN. South Carolina still undefeated this year. Number 23, Creighton at Seton Hall, 2 o'clock Sunday. You can hear the call on 1180. And noon Sunday on Big Fox, it is number 2, Ohio State at number 6, Iowa. You get a special Sunday edition of ESPN's College Game Day in Iowa City. They're not even broadcasting the game.
No.
They don't even do College Game Day on Sunday. And they said, we got to be there. Caitlin Clark effect.
So she's definitely dropping like 50, right?
Right. It is the regular season finale.
And
it is
revenge
senior
game.
day. It is revenge game. It is Caitlin Clark's last game in Iowa City. And she is 17 points behind Pistol Pete Maravich's college basketball scoring record, regardless of gender. So it will be a big day in Iowa City. You can guarantee that.
Yep.
Things to watch this weekend. Apple TV Plus has Napoleon with Joaquin Phoenix. It's not good. Don't watch it. And but it's there. If you were waiting for it, it's there.
Nice.
And on Netflix, the movie Spaceman premieres. 6 months into a solo mission, an astronaut, played by Adam Sandler, confronts the cracks in his marriage with help from a mysterious creature. It is not a comedy.
Okay. That'll be fun.
Creighton fan, Adam Sandler.
That's right. Josh, thank you.
Thank you, Connor.
That's the show. If you miss anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. If you miss anything, you missed a lot today.
Yeah, big show today.
Big show full of announcements and guests and revelations of all kinds. But the party doesn't stop here. Stay tuned, because up next in the crossover, it's time for Jerky Wars.
Circle Jerky
on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Certified Transmission built its reputation on the job done right. It means hard work, honesty, and integrity.
And together, we ensure our customers leave satisfied and worry-free.
Certified Transmission, the job done right at the right price.
Trees, are they all the same? Not at Lanahaw. Grown from a quality seed source, handcrafted in our local farms for generations, and acclimated to our tough Midwestern climate, Lanahaw's trees are different. Simply put, they're better. Much like our trees, we take great pride in being homegrown. Visit our garden center to find your next tree today. Rooted in quality, unmatched value. Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Listen to the Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jays shoot around and overtime shows, the Creighton men's basketball pregame and postgame shows on 1620 The Zone. The Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jays shoot around and overtime shows are also presented by Union Bank and Trust. Hear the breakdown and coverage about your top-ranked Creighton men's basketball team before and after each game, exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone, the 1620 The Zone mobile app, and 1620thezone.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Tell us how you feel on the J-Tech Construction and Solar Zone Twitter feed. Reach Gary, Nick, Connor, Josh, and John anytime on the J-Tech Construction and Solar Zone Twitter feed. Contact the official exterior and solar experts of the Huskers. J-Tech Construction at yourexteriorexperts.com.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Howdy, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Say there's a lot to do this season in Nebraska's outdoors. There's always hiking in the state parks. There's bird watching. There's trout stream fishing action. There's scouting for that spring wild turkey hunting trip. And there's looking for shed deer antlers in your favorite woods. So there's no reason to be a couch potato, is there? No. Get outdoors and enjoy. Well, it's time